We're live.
Romaine.
I think we're live.
Hello,
We're
YouTube.
live,
Fake news.
Did you press the red button?
I pressed a button. I think it's a blue button. You actually pressed the blue button. If I hit the red button now, we're gone. We're done. And it'll be the shortest and best show ever.
What's this weird business?
Yeah. So, hello Internet. What's going on? Welcome to the closer. We are live. I did have it set for 10. I thought maybe I could squeak it a little bit earlier. Just didn't pull it off. I was going to try and keep the show a little short and sweet tonight. I have to get up early. I got to be at the restaurant real early for a meeting tomorrow. Actually, a couple of meetings tomorrow. But we'll see what happens. Got some articles pulled up. We're going to talk about today's food topic. I figured we'd talk a little bit because the holidays are coming up. We could have a little conversation, a little open conversation about home event cooking. Like if you're going to have some people over to your house, what are some things to think about when you're sort of planning something like that to make it a little bit easier on yourself? That'd be kind of interesting. And then, we'll do the Instagrams and see what kind of nonsense is on there. So I got the four, we got three more amigos here. Got Moo, Ape, and George Hay. And we'll see what happens here. See if anybody else pops in. There's some links out there. If anybody out there didn't get one, let me know. We'll throw one at you.
We got the original band.
Yeah. Getting the band back together, man. Ape was out there. Kingpin was out there. Men of Tupperware was out there. Moo. The Mouse. Mr. Mouse is out there. And I saw Pink pop in. Corn Pop's a bad dude. Gizzard, Grim, and MKJO. Mick Joe, if he was a cup of coffee served at McDonald's, he'd be a Mick Joe. He says, why are you called pancakes? So if you look at my logo there, I didn't do it, but that skull is actually a pancake. I can't remember the dude's name. He has a YouTube channel, and before I got on YouTube, my wife had actually, I think, texted it to me, a picture of it that she found. I don't know if she found it on YouTube or if she saw it somewhere on like in Instagram or something. I don't remember. And she texted it to me and she says, hey, this is really cool. Check this out. And it is. And the dude does pancake art and he does it with his kids. And so once I got on YouTube, I actually went under the video where he makes that pancake and commented and sent him an email. I said, hey, do you care if I use this as my logo? And he said, go ahead. So that's it. So it's actually a pancake skull on a plate with a knife and a fork for the skull and crossbones. And I can't remember the dude's name, but it's if you could search for it probably and find it, or I could probably search for it and find it. I can't remember the guy's name, but yeah. So that's it. So pancakes. Moo, what's going on, buddy? Welcome back. We missed you last week.
Yeah, that pancake art. I watched that shit's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's neat.
But yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. I'm winding down. This is my last day of vacation, and I do not want to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
I hear you, buddy. I hear you.
Yeah. Been off since last Thursday. Thursday, around the clock until Monday.
The guy's name is Nathan Shields. It's 6 years ago he did the video, and it's got 592,000 views. It's a minute and 9 seconds long. So there it is. That's actually on my phone. That's the video. You can see that's the skull. So I don't know if somebody must have taken that and put it on the skull and crossbones and stuff like that. So I don't know if he did that or not. I can't remember. But Nathan Shields.
All right.
So very cool.
Yeah.
Patriots out there. And Ape, what's going on with you, man? How's work? I wasn't sure if you'd be able to make it tonight or not, if they were going to have you slaving away at the banana factory again.
Yeah, right.
Nope. And even if they were wanting me to work this weekend, I was not going to work this weekend because I had a gun show that I had to go help set up with. And, since you're
Nice.
already there helping set up, you might as well, peruse the wares and,
Mm-hmm.
put a hole in your wallet. So,
That's right.
yep, I have now officially purchased the oldest firearm have the oldest firearm I own. I got a little pocket 25 Colt that was manufactured in 1919.
Very cool.
Cool.
Yeah, so I had kind of an odd dichotomy going today for carrying. I had a 102-year-old pocket pistol in my pocket that has no sights whatsoever. That has pretty
Gary.
much no sights.
Right.
And then on my hip was my Max 9 with its fancy polymer 10, 12 rounds and holographic sight. So,
Very
Yeah.
cool.
how far we've come.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And George, what's going on with you, guy?
Oh, yeah, it's been a long weekend.
Mhm.
Thanks for the invite, and
Yeah.
great to see you guys. Yeah, with the whole September 11th thing, it's when you're in the security biz, man, we try to be on target with everything, so that way, everyone's safe and sound, and no one has to go through the BS of fake bomb threats or any kind of, bad scenarios and stuff. So I'm happy to say that everything went fine. Pulled the all day, almost all night duty, I always like to help out the guys, if they're out there in the sun and stuff, I get them waters and snacks and stuff, so that way they can, be comfortable as possible working long hours and stuff. And hopefully that we went through this weekend without any incident, and it was great. So it's good, And today just relaxing and stuff. I caught up finally. I was watching Titans. I'd never seen the show, and finally that I have HBO Max. I got to binge watch the first and second season, and whatever. I think it's 4 or 5 episodes that they released already for the third. So good. I've caught up. So I'm like, yes. And other than that, it's great.
Well, very cool. Foss said he put out a 16-second video this morning. It has 115,000 views and it gained 153 subs.
Wow.
What ridiculous asinine new challenge did he do now?
It says why we should not.
That was the Biden impeachment.
I haven't watched it yet, but I'll have to watch it. I can watch it right now.
People of Gotham City, the moment you have all been waiting for.
The Joker.
115,000 views. That's awesome.
I'm sorry. Are you?
Joke is
Is he
awesome.
denigrating the great Caesar Romero to Camilla Harris?
There was the Penguin was there too.
All right.
That is
well,
some.
I need a
That
veto.
is some. That is some clickbait for sure. We'll see what and 153 subs out of it. That's good. That's funny. That's awesome.
Dang, that's awesome,
Yep.
dude. Congrats.
So we've got like I say, I got a couple articles pulled up. First one is an article about a U.S. Army Special Forces former Special Forces soldier that actually on video choked a woman out.
Man.
Crazy. I don't know if you guys saw this.
No,
do we know the context surrounding this?
Yes, I do. I know the context around it. It's crazy. And it's because the dude is transgender and now won an MMA fight against a woman.
Did he choke her out no-handed?
Yeah.
So, in other words, it was willing combat.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't just someone walked up on the street and went.
It was. I was just starting trouble. My fault. My bad.
Oh.
Sorry to get y'all wound up.
See what you do when you create these clickbait stuff that these poor, innocent, simple-minded people watch.
Whoa. So I saw this pop up today. U.S. Special Forces transgender fighter wins MMA debut against a woman. So again, this kind of craziness is in the news. And this wasn't. I don't know if you remember a year or so ago. Fallon Fox is a transgender woman that actually fractured a female fighter's skull in the ring, just destroyed her. This one didn't go quite like that. It went like 3 rounds, and then it ended up being like a rear naked choke or something. But so the story goes, I won it in the second round. It was the second round. And so let me find out. Let me think here. Let me see if I can say. McLaughlin, in her past as a male enlisted in the U.S. military in 2003, she put on muscle, rose up the Army ranks, and became a Special Forces medical sergeant, part of an elite 12-man team dispatched to Afghanistan in 2007. McLaughlin probably came out as transgender in 2003 at age 20, but she was denied gender reassignment surgery by her mother and subsequently joined the Army, serving in Afghanistan. She was later diagnosed with PTSD before undergoing gender reassignment surgery in 2016. She began MMA training and cites Fallon Fox, who won 5 of her 6 professional fights between 12 and 14, as her inspiration. So I guess that was more than a couple years ago. That seemed like more recent that the Fallon Fox thing was she was fighting, but so in the fights here, it wasn't an easy fight for sure. I mean, it only went 2 rounds, which is fairly fast, but that's not uncommon in MMA. And posted a picture. It said, good morning, friends, supporters, and others. I'm getting a lot of variations of the same nasty messages calling me a cheater, like I didn't get beat on for a round and a half. Y'all need to show Celine Provost some respect and take your concern trolling elsewhere. So, a lot of people are, riding her, giving her a hard time, whatever. But at what point in sports, like, my big question is, at what point do we need to, or does there need to be separate categories? I mean, should there be a men's division, a women's division, and a transgender men's and transgender women's? I mean, I guess eventually you'd have to do that, because it just doesn't. It's just not. It doesn't make sense.
That would be fair. I think that would be fair.
It would be the only fair thing to do, right?
Mm-hmm. Because even like you say, if a person, like say a male, takes hormones to look female, to grow breasts and to grow, female features and stuff, you're still a man, no matter what, And if they do that as, like, say, different categories, like men's, women's, and transgender, then that could be a fair match, because you got transgender versus transgender, not transgender versus female or something like that, Because what happens if it would have been a transgender woman? I mean, a woman who became a man and then fights a man. It's stuff like that things can go wild and stuff. So if you keep it by category, as like you said, I see that as being more fair, because it would, like I said, the guy, even though he's transgender, he has the advantage.
Yeah, definitely.
And with the, say, transitioning female to male, while you're taking testosterone, do we say, okay, at this certain point or parts per million, or concentration of testosterone is acceptable for transition? Anything above it, it's a performance enhancer? Or do we just? Yeah, I agree with where it's just male, female, trans. Doesn't matter which way you're transitioning. Throw them together. Call it good.
Yeah, and then let them sort it out. Yeah, it would definitely cause them to want to split it up themselves because they wouldn't want to be fighting each other for sure, or whatever sport. And there is an interesting sort of side note to this though too, which is, the MMA isn't 100% about who's the hardest hitter or who's the strongest. It has who has the best skills, right, at some point. But the advantage that somebody would have with the punching power that this person had versus a female from birth fighter is it's undeniable. I mean, you definitely have somebody that's in their past. I mean, there's pictures of him before his transition, and he was a big dude, man. He was built. He was in good shape for sure. He looked like he whooped some ass, and that doesn't just disappear.
Right. When you just say transition in his 20s, so he's had 20+ years of testosterone, building his bones and muscles and ligaments.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that question. And I guess the other maybe thought that I had was, maybe leave it up to the opponent too. If they go, wait a minute,
Well, and that's the thing though. I mean, when this fight comes up and they go to somebody, like they went to this woman, what they say her name is Provost or whatever. They want to fight. They want to fight. And I'll be 100% honest. If as a fighter, if somebody came up to you and offered you this fight and you thought, you know what, if I win this fight, I'm really going to run up the ranks because now all of a sudden I've beaten somebody that probably I shouldn't have beat. They're going to want to fight that fight, I would imagine. If they think they could, if they think their skills are up to that par. Obviously, if they're not, then who wants to go in there and get their face kicked in? But this chick held her own. Good for her for a round and a half, and was apparently like from watching it, she was doing a good job. But there's also now, some amount of stigmatism, like, oh, you don't want to fight her, that means you're transphobic or something. You know what I mean? There's going to be that coming at somebody like that too if they turn down the fight, which is horseshit. You should be allowed to do whatever the hell you want to do for whatever reasons, really. I just think every sport, it's going to come down to it where, especially these sports of strength like weightlifting, powerlifting, running, where it takes where just innate muscle development, or whatever you want to call it, is the big factor. They've got to be separated. They've got to be separated, or it just doesn't make sense. And you've got people that are being put in third place by two transgender runners or whatever it is. That person that ran third place is, what have we done? What has the competition done to them? Great feats of strength. That's right. You came in third, but you would have came in first if two transgender chicks wouldn't have blown you away. You know what I mean? Like, that's not right. That's bullshit.
Indeed.
Sponsored by Dollar Shave Club.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
I like to see this guy, this transgender.
Lawnmower.
I like to see this transgender fight against Gina Carino.
I don't know. I think she's gotten a little softer in recent years.
I mean, shit.
It's more bulk now.
Patriot says, "Is this a great argument against joining the army?" Yeah, look what happened to this guy.
He couldn't get into the Navy, apparently.
Yeah,
he was a little too eager to get in. No, that's
right.
not
Special.
nice.
It's in the forces.
Special for me to say.
What are you wearing to this recruitment office?
Barbecue says, do a chromosome test our chromosomes determine whether you fight male. Yeah, basically that's
Mhm.
that's what we're saying. They should be separated. At some point, it just becomes obvious that it should be separated. I mean, it should be obvious from the beginning. But I mean, all of a sudden, one person pops up and they don't know what to do, and they're like, "Oh, okay," and it needs to be dealt with for sure.
Now, if the two consenting adults wish to try and beat the shit out of each other, hey, go for it. Let's see what happens.
True.
Welcome to Thunderdome.
Two
MKJO,
enter, one
yeah.
leaves, and another leaves
Says-
slightly later after being declared the winner.
MKJO says Salty Crackers video was great. Yeah, actually, that's where I saw this. I had seen the headline and article about it, but I hadn't actually looked into it. And then his video popped up, and I watched it. It was pretty good. He's a lot. Sometimes he's a lot to handle, but that was a good one. If you haven't watched his video on this, it's pretty funny. I guess it's today. Let's see what else we got here. We got stuff. Stuff and things. Shit and stuff. Boom. U.S. military court rules bump stocks are not machine guns. What?
Yeah, I saw that. Cool.
How could that be?
Was it the Army, or that'd be a boob stock?
There you go.
Boom stock.
Smeggy's out there. What's up, Snowman? Said that Fallon Fox is bad because the girl didn't know Fox had transitioned. I didn't know that. Sorry about your luck. Sorry I accidentally on purpose caved in your skull. My bad. So this article, the United States Navy Marine Corps, out of criminal appeals, has ruled that bump stocks are not machine guns in the United States versus Ali Akazag. Guess we'll pronounce it that way. Marine Corps Private Akazag was convicted of possessing 2 machine guns in violation of Articles 83, 107, and 134 of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. These machine guns that the private possessed were bump stocks. The private's defense counsel argued that bump stocks did not meet the federal definition of machine guns. The ruling is found here and embedded below. A 3-judge panel agreed with the defense, unanimously ruled that bump stocks do not meet the definition of a machine gun. The judges laid out a case that anti-gun activists put political pressure on Congress after a mass murder in Las Vegas. That's all 60 people die. A bill was set forth in Congress called Closing the Bump Stock Loophole. The bill would have treated bump stocks as machine guns. The bill failed to pass either chamber of Congress. So the Marines got it right. Why the fuck can't anybody else? What the hell? If the Marines can do it, anybody can do it. Sons of bitches. I actually saw this one, and Sarge sent it to me too, but I had seen it. I had beat him to it. I think I might have it. This one on Instagram too. Armed robber shot in the face by armed victim in Texas just days after permitless carry begins.
In the face.
That's law of averages.
That's right. An armed robber was shot in the face in Texas when his victim pulled out his own gun and shot him. Just days after Texas law went into effect, allowing residents to carry handguns without permits. He was shot in the face one time. I would think most times that would be enough. He's at the hospital. He's gonna live. He's conscious and breathing right now. I should see breathing for now. That'd be even more rough.
He has 3 nostrils now.
Yeah, he's got more holes now to breathe through.
That's true. The incident unfolded Wednesday evening in Houston, and when the victim was walking to a local Shell gas station to make a few purchases, the suspect in the case was dropped off around the same time and approached the victim by lifting his shirt to expose a gun and demanded that he fork over any valuables. The victim, however, was also armed and pulled out his weapon and shot the suspect in the face. The suspect is in the hospital and in police custody. So he's in the hospital, but parts of his face must be in police custody. The parts that they scooped up.
That's what I tell people, man. You don't know who's caring. So
That's
if
right.
someone cut you off, yeah, you're mad. Be happy you didn't get in an accident. Don't pull out your gun because the other guy can have a gun too. So just relax.
Stop breaking the law, asshole.
Yeah.
That's right. An
Yeah,
armed
there you go.
society is a polite society, right? They say.
Mm.
So, from that, straight into this one, which this has been a thing for a while now. Obviously, I know this has been talked about for a year and a half or whatever, ever since, Uber and DoorDash and all those kind of places have been popular. At least a dozen rideshare drivers murdered in carjackings this year. Murdered, not just robbed, not just wounded, but actually killed. That's a lot. 12 people killed is a lot. Police in Plano, Texas, shot a man who drove to the police department and opened fire on officers inside this past weekend, and authorities say the man is believed to be linked to the murder of a local Lyft driver just a few hours earlier in nearby Garland, Texas. The death of 26-year-old Isabella Lewis marks at least the 12th homicide of a rideshare driver this year, according to reports by the website The Markup, whatever they are, which recently reported in the staggering rise in carjackings and other violent crimes being committed against rideshare drivers who are forced to disarm while on the job thanks to policies from companies like Uber and Lyft. I'd be interested to see how many people would normally have been carrying if they were allowed to. That would be another great one to see. This guy got killed, but he normally carries and wasn't, or at least in his car. Through the interviews and with drivers and family members, police reports, and local news articles, the markup found Uber and Lyft drivers from Boston to Nashville to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, who've been victims of carjackings or attempted carjackings. Their cars ended up crashed in chop shops or used in other crimes. Police departments nationwide have reported an overall surge in carjackings during the pandemic, and these incidents appear to be happening to ride-hail drivers at an especially high rate. Many of the drivers are elderly, immigrants, and women. 11 have died as a result of the assaults. Dozens more have been severely injured or permanently injured. Some of the carjackings are wrong place, wrong time types of incidents, but 75, more than 60% of the attacks tracked by the markup happened after drivers were paired with their would-be assailants by Uber or Lyft's algorithm. So 60% of them were people that definitely that were called by, that were called or whatever. Actually called to their own carjacking. They haven't gotten to the point where a lot of taxis in, high crime areas have gotten over the years, and that's basically taking the ability from somebody in the back to even get to somebody in the front with like bulletproof glass or something like that. I'm not really sure what this one's about. I just saw saw the headline and figured we'd check it out. Advocates push for changes after teens charged for bringing guns to Enloe High School. Raleigh, North Carolina, 2 teens were charged after 2 guns were found at Enloe High School on Thursday. It marks the 3rd gun incident at a North Carolina high school this week. Get rid of this stupid thing here. For local moms working to keep guns out of schools, the 3 incidents are painful reminders of the work that needs to be done. They're all painful reminders. She said schools, parents, and lawmakers all need to be part of the solution to keep guns out of schools. Just one day after a student was shot and killed at the Mount Tabor High School in Winston-Salem, 2 guns were found at Enloe High School. Charged the kids. Parents react to deadly shooting. Let me see. They made it sound like they wanted Madavi Crevet is the North Carolina state campaign leader for Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense. She says everyone needs to be proactive and not reactive. She wants to see the state legislature pass a red flag law, taking guns out of a home when someone can be a danger to themselves and others. The problem isn't going away anytime soon unless we take action, Kravitz said. And I'm saying that at the federal level with background checks and red flag laws. It's at the state law with the same. And it's also at the school level. The school board's taking these kinds of actions. Both moms want to see better mental health checks. Health programs in schools. I'd really love to see our school board built a threat assessment program to help our kids before they get to that point. Kravitz said, I know Virginia has a pretty good one, and I think North Carolina schools could build a really good threat assessment program. So, see where the hell that is. So that ends up. The principal said the employees was alerted about the weapons, and the school resource officer was able to locate the student. Kids bringing guns to school. It's happening forever. It's not good. I love this picture. This is great. Justin Trudeau unveils radical new approach to gun grabbing. Look at this guy. Look at this guy over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. Woof.
Someone wants a snack.
Somebody wants a belly rub.
Yeah, you hear that? Woo, 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 woo. It says the price to pay is too high. That's why we took real action and banned military-style assault weapons. We need strong leadership to keep our communities safe. There is no good reason for anyone in this country to own a military-style assault rifle. Not one. That's why we banned them. Justin Trudeau's government has taken the strongest action on guns of any government in Canada, including banning over 1,500 types of military assault rifles. Now we want to move forward and make Canada's gun laws even stronger. Here's how. Crackdown on anyone who make firearms unnecessarily. To do that, we permanently alter firearms to limit the number of bullets in each and ban the sale of and transfer of gun magazines that exceed that number. To help get handguns off our streets, we'll support provinces and territories to enact a ban at their junction. Handgun ban. We're going to keep communities safe and keep gun violence out of Canada. Get the details here. So they are moving to, let's say, step 2. And that is from assault weapons to all handguns. They are moving forward. See what happens. Mad Sexy says, can we talk about the Russian ammunition ban? I'm lost because ammo's still pouring in. Just because you're seeing it on the shelves doesn't mean it wasn't already in the country. I'm not really sure. Is that something that has gone into effect, or is that going to go into effect? Do you guys know?
No idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I can Google it and see
if you're finding ammo, take advantage of it, just in case.
Yeah.
You know. I would say hoard, but I mean buy as much as you want in store and stuff for
Hoard
in case
hay.
it does happen. What?
Well,
Wait, did you
It
just call
says-
him horde or whore?
Hoard hay.
No.
so
Mine
this
up
is
with
an
$20
article
back.
from.
Moo, I love you, buddy.
So this is an article from the NRA. It says the Biden administration's Department of State announces that it will soon prohibit the importation of Russian ammunition. So, this article was done August 22nd, so that might not have happened yet. Let me see if I can scan this and see if they say when. The release goes on to note that the new policy will take effect upon the publication of a Federal Register notice expected on September 7th, and they will remain in place for a minimum of 12 months. The sanctions can only be lifted after a 12-month period if the executive branch determines and certifies to Congress that Russia has met several conditions, including providing reliable assurance that it will not use chemical weapons in violation of international law. It is not making preparations to use chemical weapons in the future. It is willing to allow international inspectors to verify those assurances, and it is making restitutions to Mr. Navalny. So it's not. I didn't even realize that it's not even just a ban on ammunition. It's a ban on ammunition to punish or ensure Russia does certain things. It has conditions, which it is kind of funny though. I mean, if he really wanted to hurt Russia, wouldn't if they really wanted to put him in their place, they could ban other stuff, not just ammo, right? Yeah. So I guess it's that publication of the Federal Register notice expected on September 7th. So it could be in effect, or it could be soon. I don't know. Let's see if it says anything else in there. Yeah, I don't know. So, know a little bit more than we did.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
Foss says there's a bunch of sanctions on some financial institutions too. Interesting. And we got one more, and then we talk some food. Bam! Indiana Jones's Smith & Wesson Bapty revolver from Raiders of the Lost Ark is for sale.
Take my money.
Take my money, right? Run your credit card. Everybody get your credit cards together. Run them all one after another. See if we have enough.
Woo.
Raiders of the Lost Ark is the legendary Bapty Limited 455 Webley revolver used on screen and in the movies is up for sale on gunbroker.com. Mac just bought a bunch of them, and they're all up on gunbroker.com.
No.
Well-known
You beat everybody to that one.
Yeah.
No.
Through the well-known seller, Mr. Gun Dealer. There is no telling exactly how much a revolver would go for, but in the past, several other Indiana Jones memorabilia have been sold off and in an auction for nearly $500,000.
I'm out.
So, pew pew pew. Yep.
Yeah, I'm tapping out then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pistol itself was a contract-made Smith & Wesson hand ejector Mark II revolver, chambered in .455 Webley, produced by Armor Bapt Limited. The Bapty revolver was modified to fire blanks for safety on the movie set and also had its barrel cut from the original 6 down to 4 inches. In addition, the Bowman-style steel front sight was installed, and the revolver was given an intentional patina to give it that classic Indiana Jones worn look. So if they had somebody build it, why did they have somebody build it and then? Oh, maybe they.
And then what?
And then changed it. Why didn't they just have it built that way? The pistol itself was a contract made Smith & Wesson and a revolver chain. Oh, okay. So they took that and then modified it. Okay, that when I read that, I was like, why did they have somebody build it and then have somebody else change it? That's weird. The current auction on gunbroker.com is starting at $0. So hey, you can still get in on it. And a buy now price of $5 million. A signed letter from renowned movie memorabilia company Prop Store will be included with the lot, as well as Prop Store certification of authenticity. The description letter will be signed by the Prop Store owner, Stephen Lane, for those who like a bit of movie trivia. Although the Baptiste pistol was the constant companion of Indy, he only shot and killed 3 people with a revolver, one of which, by far the most iconic in the entire series, is when he shot the dude with the sword. So that's kind of neat. For that kind of money, though, it better be signed by more people than this Prop Store guy. Better have goddamn Harrison Ford signature on that thing somewhere. Ain't paying 5 meals for that. Yeah, that's a lot of monies. That's a lot of bananas. All right.
Matt, if you're paying that much for ramen, you're overpaying.
That's right. So
A lot of vagina.
let's talk about some foods. So I thought with the holidays coming up, like I said, we could talk a little bit about food at home or cooking at home for a party or an event, home catering, we can call it. Now, you guys that do barbecue and stuff, it's actually kind of a nice way to. It's a neat thing to do because you get a chance to cook it for a long time, slow and low. Have it ready at a certain time. You can kind of time it, but at the same time, there's a lot of that stuff that you barbecue that you can hold for a while too, or reheats pretty well. So that's kind of cool. You guys do that kind of stuff. You throw a brisket on, and if you're a little bit early or whatever, or people are a little bit early or they're a little bit late, it's not that big of a deal. Whereas, a lot of other foods people try and do at parties, and if people are a little bit early, no dice, and if they're a little bit late, your shit's all dried out or fucked up. You know what I mean? So, that's a little bit harder, but. So then, like always, this is an open conversation. I got some stuff written down. I didn't go crazy in detail. And then you guys out in the chat, if you have any questions or you want to throw something in there, tag us in it and we can talk here. But I get questions like this kind of stuff a lot because people always ask me a lot how we do parties at the restaurant. Like, how do you do the parties for all those people and get the food out and have it be hot and fresh and and so good. And there's a lot of tricks you do, but when you're doing it at home, it's obviously a little harder because you're at home. You don't have the gadgets and the gizmos, and you don't have a ton of space, and you don't have a big oven, and you don't have all that kind of stuff. Foss says, if you give everyone food poisoning, you never have to host again. That's true.
Or, if you just turn your heater on when it's 90 degrees out, or slice the sandwich meat so thin you can read through it.
Mm-hmm.
Or really let into people and let them know what your political opinions on anything that they think is.
TPC jumped in. Got his spices sitting right next to me.
Yeah, if you have somebody shoot him a link, see if he wants to hop in, he can hop in. BB Quay is here.
It's the Q.
How's it going?
It's
Just got
going
just
on.
the little one down to sleep finally.
Nice. Bourbon will do that to him when you're in a hurry.
Well,
Yeah.
if your little guy's falling asleep, you probably need to stand up and move around a little bit. You probably ended up sitting on it when you sat down.
You cut off circulation. Happens every time.
And that's why I can't ride a bike for more than 5 minutes at a crack.
Next thing you know, there's money missing off the dresser and your daughter's knocked up. I've seen it 100 times.
You should try putting a seat on that bike, Ape.
That ruins it.
Well, Moo.
Oh, it's
If
a banana seat. God
If
damn
my
it.
member was falling asleep, that means that
Well,
somehow it
never.
got drug up onto the pole and inside.
It's that
So-
small?
No, it's that hot out.
Ooh, that's rough.
Ugh.
No, somebody
So-
thought it was a good idea to give me a pineapple scented soap, and it just made everything supple and stretchy,
Weird.
like Silly Buddy.
Weird.
Oh, where's my pineapple avatar?
Now he's got two tails.
Well, 3 technically.
Two tails and a poker. So that's kind of one of the first things I put up is or wrote down is to pick foods that reheat well. If people end up coming late, pick things that reheat well. Things like that are in sauces or pastas, that kind of stuff is great, but what you can reheat and what you can't very easily. And that's something to think about. One of the things, the sort of big scale things that I would recommend doing if you can is to try and do stations. Try and place foods in different areas and not just on one table. When you're doing, I love doing stations at work when we have events. People really like it. Guests really like it. And they like the idea of it. It spreads the guests out over the room, and they're not standing in one line or packed together around one table or one buffet line. And what it does for you as the host, we'll say, is it gives you the chance to put food out and not have everybody standing in line or standing at one place waiting for you to put something out. If you start putting food out on the stations and then cut everybody loose, some people are going to go to this station, some people are going to go to this station, some people are going to go to another. And as food starts running out, because people are already used to going and sort of roaming around a little bit, when food starts to run out and you have to refill it, they don't really notice that things are out. They'll just go somewhere else. They'll be like, oh, okay, well, I'll go over here. And they'll come back later or something like that. So it's kind of nice. It gives you the ability to sort of slow things down a little bit as far as having to crank food out. But it also gives the illusion that you always have food out. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of nice. And people don't like to be all cramped together. They like to be able to move around a little bit and do what they're going to do. And a lot of people they think, well, I don't even have the living room and a dining room or whatever. Like, how can I do that? And you can. You just do it. You just pick tables. You move things around a little bit. You have one station that might be cold stuff, salad, a salad and bread, like rolls or something, and some kind of crudité. And you have another one that's got some dips and some this and that and whatever. And you just spread it out a little bit. And then you have one that's going to be your vegetables and starches and your protein or something, and let people just wander around. And if everybody runs to the salad first, there's going to be somebody that's like, well, fuck that, I'm going over and getting the protein. I'm going to go over and get chicken or whatever first, and then when it thins out, they go over to the salad. It's no big deal. Try and pick foods that are good, warm, cool, or at room temperature. And I think this is a mistake that people make too when they're cooking at home a lot, is they make things and they try so hard to have everything hot at once because that's the quality is based on that or can be based on that. And if it's something gets kind of cools off a little bit, it's kind of gross, or something like texturally, it could be bad. Some vegetables are like that. And if you pick something that works well at room temperature, then you don't really have to worry about it. Meats and cheeses, you talked about that, like meat and cheese trays, vegetable trays. Grilled vegetables are another one. I used to do a lot of grilled vegetable platters, grilled vegetable trays, and arrange them really nice. And I never served them hot. I would actually warm them up in the oven a little bit, and put them out, and they would be, because they're grilled and they're marinated and they have like a nice vinaigrette on them or something, they hold up really well at room temperature, and people still really, really enjoy them. Hummus, dips, spreads, that kind of stuff. Obviously you can put out, like Mad Sexy said, crock pots. You can put all sorts of stuff in crock pots, and dips and cheese dips and soups and sauces and all sorts of crazy stuff, and that's fine. But you can only have so much equipment, so you can't really bank on everything being in something like that.
There's only so much current being drawn through your little power outlets.
Yeah, and you don't. Yeah, and you have cords hanging everywhere, and if you already have people walking around everywhere, you don't want cords coming off of tables and into the plugs where somebody could catch it with their foot and pull it off the table or something like that. So, chafers are nice if you've never worked with a chafing dish. It has water in the bottom of it. It's like a double boiler almost. And you put some kind of fuel underneath. Usually it's a sterno. Sometimes they're little alcohol candles. They're like alcohol burners. They have wicks on them. Sometimes it's a jelly. And they have their pluses and minuses. And nowadays there's some stuff that's really inexpensive. And a lot of people, I know a lot of people that'll buy the disposable ones too. They're just like metal, like a wire chafer, and then the pans are disposable that you put in, and they actually work pretty good. I've used them. They're pretty good for super cheap if you only plan on using them once or twice, and you can go with that. With the chafers, if you're going to hold food in a chafer, you're going to hold food in a hot table or a hot something like that. It's again, it's important to kind of choose the kind of food you're going to do, and foods that are in sauces work great. Foods that aren't in a sauce can dry out. Burgers are a good example. Like if I was going to do burgers for a party or something, let's say we're going to have a bunch of people over to watch a game, and we wanted to do burgers and everybody wasn't coming at once, and I didn't want to go through all that. So I was like, okay, so if I would do, burgers, cook them to like medium, and then lay them in the bottom of a chafer, sort of shingle them out, line them up really nice, and then top them with like sauteed mushrooms and caramelized onions and stuff like that. And the natural moisture in the onions and the mushrooms is going to keep the burgers moist and keep them from drying out. And you just reach in there, you grab them, and you throw them in a bun, and you go like that. Things like wings and all that kind of stuff obviously works. Fries suck in a chafer. They don't work very well. But instead of doing fries, maybe you do like roasted potatoes or something. You do like a roasted potato wedge, and then right before everybody gets there, you throw them back in the oven, reheat them, throw them in a chafer, and they'll hold for an hour or two, and they'll be good. You don't notice that a roasted potato softens up a little bit and you lose its crunch. It's still really good. Whereas a fry, if it loses its crunch, it's soggy, and people don't like that. So
Gross.
Gross. Salads are your friend. Large salads, and like large bold salads with all this stuff mixed into it, and then dressing on the side is great. It's easy, and you throw it together and you put it out, and it holds up really well as long as you don't dress it. That's a big one. Even if it's like a Caesar salad or something like that, don't dress it. Put the dressing on the side. If you put the dressing on it within 15 minutes, it's like a soggy mess. It'll purge all sorts of liquid out and gets like weird. But if you don't dress it, if you just put, like I used to do a lot of salads with field greens and, throw like crumbled blue cheese or Parmesan in it, shredded Parmesan and dried cranberries, almonds, shredded carrots, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then just put the dressing on the side and let people do what they want. We talked about sliced meats and stuff like that in sauces, and the burgers. Short ribs are another awesome one to do. If you're going to do a short, you can chunk up short ribs into. I used to do this for parties all the time. I'd take short ribs and cut them into like 5 ounce or 4 ounce cubes or pieces, and braise them, and then people would just come through and grab one. They knew they were going to grab one because they were big enough. And that's kind of a trick too if you're really worried about portions. If you can't man the station, where you're not going to man a station at home, you're not going to stand there and serve people, or maybe you are, maybe you could. But if you do things that are big enough that people understand that they're supposed to only take one per person, that's nice. Whereas if things are sliced, sometimes they just take a big shovelful and take off on you. And it's hard to portion, you know what I mean?
Like the guy that takes the whole plate of shrimp.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've had those guys at the restaurant too.
10 shish kebabs.
Yeah. That used to happen to a Chinese restaurant I used to go not too far from my house. And the guy, he didn't have a real big buffet table because it was a small restaurant. Mm-hmm. And as soon as they brought out the shrimp, the peel shrimp, you got to peel it, to eat and stuff. Some guy would just come in and just fill up his whole plate full of shrimp, man. It's like if he just took the whole, tray,
just switched it out.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
It's like Cousin Eddie going through the buffet in Vegas. I'll have some of the green. I'll have some of that red stuff.
Yeah.
Don't be shy. Don't be stingy.
Another thing too there's tricks to that too, where it was the size of the plates you use, try not to use huge plates because it makes keeps people a little lighter, they can't fit as much on their plate, that kind of thing. But another thing that people really kind of don't think about is how popular different foods are going to be at certain events or parties. And the demographic of your party. You invited people, right? So that there's like one woman or one guy that's going to be a vegetarian. And that there's or there's one person that can't eat this, or there's one person that can't eat that. So if you've got a bunch of meat eaters and one vegetarian, you're not going to do as much vegetarian food as you will, burgers or wings or something like that.
They're not welcome at my parties.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they don't even show up.
I swear they're veggie burgers. I swear.
Yeah. So,
well, they're once processed veggie burgers. They go through this interesting transformation where we take the roughage and the chlorophyll that was in the vegetables or in the plant material and convert it into this protein substance that tastes like beef.
You said chlorophyll. You mean borophyll. Billy Madison reference for that. Mm-hmm. So don't put a whole lot of stock into crossing your fingers and hoping and praying that guys like us are going to run through there and eat a whole bunch of the vegetable this or the vegetable, the vegan that. It's they're going to go for what they like. So be honest with yourself. Vegetarians can drink the ketchup. Yeah, that's a fruit smoothie. Yeah. And it's the same way in the restaurant. We've had that happen a lot of times where we've had people come in and they try and plan a wedding reception or something. and they want to have things that
Cordon
just
bleu.
don't make sense. And they say, well, we have so and so's coming and she's vegan, so we got to have this, like half the stuff has to be vegan. And I was like, no, we'll take care of them. Like, let us know who they are, and we'll get them some stuff together. But you don't have to plan the whole event around that. When people worry too much about that, I'd rather go through a little bit of the effort to hook one person up than changing everything on the damn menu. So drink stations is another one. There's some really cool stuff out there nowadays for drink stations that people can have set up and ready to go and not have to worry about it for the whole party. Tupperware, yeah, I sent you one. Try and send you another one here.
Rob D's out there enjoying a campfire.
There he is. So there's a ton of cool stuff out there for drinks. For even if it's hot drinks, they make the air pots. I don't know if you guys, most people have seen air pots nowadays. Some gas stations and stuff use them a lot. Restaurants even use them a lot now. If it's a type of thing where you go in and you're getting to go stuff, and it's just the big. Usually they're silver, almost like big. They almost look like big thermoses, and you pump them on the top, and you push the air into them, and the coffee comes out. And they hold as long as if you heat them, especially if you preheat them, like if you pour a little bit of really hot water in them for 2 or 3 minutes and then dump them out and then put the hot coffee in them, they stay hot for a long time. And there's a lot of drink containers, beverage dispensers, that are the carafes and the large ones with the spouts on them, the spigots on them. I've used those for years. I've used those at restaurants for people that are getting to-go stuff and takeout stuff. They can just get their own iced tea, lemonade, whatever out of it. And it's so nice, man. You just put it out, and the whole rest of the party, you're good to go. And people don't have to, you don't have to worry about getting drinks for people and doing all that shit. That's nice. Yeah, you can get a whole bucket of twisted tea. That'd be awesome. And hit somebody in the face with it. N-word slam.
Somebody wants to.
So that's it. I mean, I don't know. I tried to keep it. I tried to keep it kind of short this week. I didn't want to go too long. But is there anything else? I mean, you guys think anything when you think about parties at home, catering at home, events at home? Like,
Well,
have you guys ever done anything? You guys just had a wedding at your house. How did you do that?
yeah, I mean, I was on the grill, man. I cooked 17 burgers, and the night before, wife and I made up a bunch of salads and potato salad, macaroni salad. Had some miscellaneous stuff. It was pretty simple. But before that, I was going to mention for my daughter's graduation last year from high school, she wanted Qdoba. So they delivered those, what you call them, pans. They set everything up, and it was all, tortillas and all the fixings. There's,
Right.
It's like write the check and have them do it. And that's one way to go. And it takes a lot of pressure off me and the wife, right?
Yeah, and we've done that too at restaurants where we have, we had done a bunch of, like Sweet 16 parties or graduation parties for high school kids, and they want like a burger bars or taco bars, and that kind of stuff. And that's another kind of build your own buffet kind of thing, where you're just putting out like everything. All you got to do is keep a couple things warm and throw everything else out and let people just sort of get after it. That's super fun too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
and
what we have here. It's called a taquisa, which is taco
Mhm.
bar, and you just you have everything laid out and stuff. People make their own tacos and stuff.
yeah, you got the they supply the stands, the sterno, the pan, everything. It all comes in. They just set it up and leave, and that was super easy, and everybody was loving it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sitting on the smoker or the grill all damn day.
Mhm.
That's another option. Easy peasy, lazy kind of thing.
You
And
get to enjoy the party without smelling like smoke or food.
yeah, and not as good, obviously, as home cooked stuff, but
Yeah. But there's theme. I mean, it's a theme, and you can have fun with it for sure. I mean, there's definitely things that you can do that are super easy and super, fail safe, and then there's other things that if you want to try and impress people, and that's kind of what we're leaning toward. What I was leaning towards was, what do you do that can make people be like, oh wow, that's really awesome. How did you pull that off? Pink says, go kidnap the local truck guy and his truck, park it in the yard, let him go to town. There you go.
you know what? That's not a bad idea, because those food trucks around here, if you got an off day or something like that, I'm sure they'd pull in your driveway and serve you guys up.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if you had 50 people or something, they'd come over there to do 50 people in an hour or something, and then take off and fucking count their money. You know what I mean?
That would actually be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, many years ago here in my town, they tried bringing food trucks, and I guess at the time the mayor didn't like that, or the city, just like, oh, we don't want it and stuff. And then somebody took that idea to up the valley in a city called McAllen, and it got very popular up there. So then people started like, well, heck, maybe it's not a bad idea. So they started doing they made like a food truck park, where there's all the trucks and stuff. You can go there, and stuff like that. And then there's another section of town, much closer into town, where they have a site where there's two food trucks, and you can get, like say tacos or some other kind of food, and it's actually, works out pretty good. I mean, it just gives you an option to get different kinds of foods, and you don't have to go to like a regular restaurant. You can pick it up to go, or you can eat it out there, and table.
I hate to say it, but a lot of times those food truck, man, that they had some really good food.
Yeah.
And it's because they've decided what to do. They know they can pull it off. They limit their selections, and they know they can make it fast, and they do it. It's kind of, what
you choose your experience.
Yeah, and it kind of it's one of those things where, as a chef in a restaurant, like I say I'm going to do these things, but then you don't. You fall off the rails and you start doing things that you shouldn't be doing because they take a long time and blah blah blah. Where if you do that in a food truck, you're just going to fail. So you have to play by the rules,
Mm-hmm.
The local town here, since the festivals were canceled, the food trucks and stands are parked all over the place. Yeah, and I mean, restaurants have a love-hate relationship with food trucks. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of restaurateurs and stuff think it's really cool, but at the same time, and a lot of cities have implemented no food trucks within a certain number of feet of a restaurant, and things like that, because for a while there was no revenue for the city either, and they didn't like that. So the food trucks weren't paying any rent. They weren't paying people. People weren't paying to park there. They were just catching people walk in. So they weren't doing. Cities didn't really like that. So it's kind of, like I say, a love-hate relationship.
One thing I like to do is every Thanksgiving I take orders on turkeys. But problem is, you got some people that are like, oh, I'm not eating until 4 or 5. You got other people that are wanting to eat at noon. So I tell everybody, hey, these are going to be done at 11. If you need to, you're gonna have to reheat it. Which a lot of people get worried about reheating turkey, but what I started doing is I go to Walmart, I get good heavy duty foil roaster pans, and after I drop the turkey in that, when they're all done, I take chicken broth and pour it in there, add some black pepper and whatnot, and if I've got extra of the garlic butter, because I'll mix up the garlic butter to tuck under the skin and everything. If I got any extra of that, I put a dollop or so in there also, and then cover everything up with foil. And I just tell them 300 degrees, 30 minutes, you'll be good to go.
A lot of people too, and not that I'm telling you this, but a lot of people, if you do stuff like that, you go to the store and you buy like chicken broth or chicken, be careful what you're buying and taste it and understand what you're using, because a lot of people will buy like a low sodium chicken broth or something to use it, and they'll pour it into a pan thinking that they're going to have something that's like super flavorful, and a lot of times they don't, especially the cheaper brands. They're really mild. And there's a big difference between a broth and a stock. A broth is just done with meat, and it's meat flavored, right? Whatever. And then a stock generally has a roasted flavor to it, and it's going to have the vegetables and other stuff added to it. So it's going to be a bigger, more well-rounded flavor. And a lot of people don't know the difference between a stock and a and a broth, and that happens a lot, where people will get a broth and use it, and they can't figure out why their
gravy
sucks. It's like, it's so bland. Well, it didn't have hardly any flavor to start with because it's a broth.
So that's something I've actually wrestled with, Midnight, is using broth or stock when I do that. But I always get worried that if I go with a stock, that there's going to be people that find it to be overpowering for them and take away from the turkey. So I always default to the broth. I mean, so far I haven't had any complaints or anything. I don't know if that's a good way to look at it, but it's working. So I always stick with the broth. But I found a good one at Aldi as well a while ago where it had a really good flavor. It was actually reduced sodium even. So I was like, you know what, this works, because really I was using it for the moisture content anyways, just so while it's reheating, it starts to braise again and keep everything moist.
Well, the only thing you have to watch, and I generally do buy low sodium broths and stocks myself, because you can always add, right? And most times when I'm using something like that, it's going to be reduced into a sauce. So I don't want the added sodium, the added salt in the beginning. I'd rather just add it at the end if I need it. But a mistake that people make with certain things when they're going to braise, say you're going to braise something, or you're going to make whatever, I don't know, like you're saying, or people would say, okay, here's an example, something that somebody might do thinking they're doing themselves a favor, is you take a turkey or a chicken, roast it, or even just the breast. Let's say you buy some turkey breasts and you grill them and you slice them. You season them, you marinate them, you do a good job on them, you grill them, and you finish them in the oven, or you finish them on the grill. You slice them, you let them rest, you do everything you should do, and you put them in a pan, and you think like, oh, okay, so I'm a little ahead of time. I'm going to put something on these to keep them moist. If you use a low sodium broth, straight out of the can or whatever you're going to use, it come in cans or packages or whatever. If it's too bland, it's going to draw the moisture out of your meat. Osmosis is the thing with food. The same way that a brine works to get salt and seasoning into a meat. If you put a meat that's already seasoned and flavored well into a liquid that's bland, it's going to draw that out of it. So that can actually really do you a disservice. So if you're going to put some kind of meat into a broth or a stock to hold it, you should be able to eat that or taste that broth or stock and have it taste good to you by itself. And a lot of people, I don't think, do that. And they end up having they end up drawing a lot of the flavor and seasoning out of what they're trying to hold, and it seems bland. So that's if I was you, which I'm not that cool. I'm just a dude playing a dude, pretending to be another dude. What I would get in the habit of doing is I would use a low sodium stock, and I would reduce it maybe by half, and then use that and not that you need to, but if you're using a broth or something just for moisture, you could get moisture in there and add some more flavor, or at the very least be neutral and not draw flavor out of whatever you're trying to save in there. So if you're putting a liquid on there that you wouldn't just eat with a spoon and be like, ooh, that's good, then you need to fix it. Same goes with beef. People do that with beef all the time. And a good example of that is like a pot roast. People will do like a pot roast, and the liquid that they if you I'm going to take 2 minutes here in a second. If you put a liquid in with your pot roast and your liquid is bland, I don't care how much you marinated that roast and seasoned it, it's going to draw that seasoning off of it. So I gotta go for 5 minutes. I gotta give little guy's not feeling well. He needs a shot of medicine. So I gotta give him some Tylenol and run it upstairs for him. You guys have fun. Barbecue. Talk about what other kind of horrible stuff you do that you shouldn't be doing.
Say, man, where do I start? I'm gonna say
Mars Attacks.
You got it.
I don't know. I'm still thinking about that osmosis thing. I never even considered that. Say it's such good shit. This is why Midnight's the fucking boss. I just said the F word on a show. I hope that's allowed.
Oh, he don't fucking care.
He doesn't care.
Somebody drop a super.
It's a night show.
Okay. So, yeah, I don't know.
How's it going, guys? It's been a while.
Let's say.
I was going to tell you, I shot my first handgun with the red dot on it last weekend.
Really? Cool.
First time I ever used red dot on a handgun. Well, with my old ass eyeballs, I was like Rob Latham, man. I could not miss. For a minute, I was Jerry Micklick, Rob Latham, all these people.
Yeah, you're Jared. You're that Jerry guy.
I was Jack Wick. It was John Wick's brother.
John Wick's brother.
Yeah,
awesome,
no, it was fun. It was, of course, I have a astigmatism, so the dot didn't look crisp or anything, but still, I was right in an 8, 9, 10 ring, multiple targets, weak hand, strong hand, both hands. I mean, it was fun, man. It was. If you haven't had a chance to try it, you got to try it.
It gives a good advantage. Awesome.
Yeah, it's just fun, and it's different. I've been shooting iron sights my whole life, and it was just cool.
Yeah, I hear you on that, buddy. I hear you on that.
Yeah,
it's like when I bought my red dot for my 22, and then for my Ruger 1022, and then I decided to put it on my AR, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna leave it on for a while. I like it in the AR, but then I took it off finally because I bought me a carrying handle sight, so that way the AR looks like like an M4, old school sights and stuff. But yeah, the red dots are real good, man. They're great.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I got optics on all my long guns, so it's kind of like, what took me so long to get one on a pistol? You know?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I actually did think about something to ask Midnight about when he comes back, because I certainly don't want to feed this piece of information without expert opinion.
Yeah.
Because I've never actually felt comfortable doing
I got
it.
a question. I got a food question. Not a food. It's kind of like a. Well, yeah, it's a food question stuff. Like when you guys make spaghetti, do you guys ever use anything else other than regular tomato sauce? Like, have you ever guys used like barbecue sauce or something? I had this friend of mine that did that, and I thought, "What are you crazy? Barbecue sauce on spaghetti?" It came out awesome.
Just straight up barbecue sauce over pasta.
Yeah. The thing was that
Oof,
I didn't ask him what kind of barbecue sauce it was, because you know how they make different kinds of barbecue sauces and stuff. Because it was meatballs and spaghetti, you know, and barbecue sauce, and I was like, "Dang, the thing tasted great." It was just something I never expected.
I like barbecue sauce, but I feel like that'd be a little overpowering.
Mm-hmm.
Were you smoking a lot of flour?
Maybe if it was,
I guess it would depend on the sauce, because you know, you
it's
just can't.
so
I guess
rank.
you just can't use any sauce, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I would try it, but my wife makes her own. She cans her own homemade spaghetti sauce.
Oh, really? Wow.
I can't even choke down anything else.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Her homemade salsa and homemade spaghetti sauce are the fucking bomb.
Salsa.
Wow, that's cool. Salsa.
So let me guess.
He's back.
Let
Yes.
me guess. Barbecue was telling you how he likes to do chicken like medium rare and let it finish in the chafer for people and stuff. Scary stuff like that. Or what?
I had a question for you, kind of similar to that though, because I have heard of barbecue guys that'll say, "Oh, well, I'm doing ribs, so I'm gonna, cook them where they're like 10 degrees undercooked because these people are gonna be reheating them later." And I'm like, I don't like the sound of that. And they say it's so they don't get overdone, but at the same time, I'm like, well, you're undercooking them. They're going to sit for some amount of time undercooked, and then you're relying on your customer to then take them to the done temp.
Mm.
Hello, botulism.
I was like,
yeah, it's tough. Anytime you rely on the finishing something, it's tough. It's not exact. It's a little different with something like you do that a lot with seafood, with fish. You'll sear something, bring it up to like medium, and then put it in the pan and in the chafer, and within by the time people start to eat, it finishes through. Obviously, you're kind of flirting with disaster if you do something like that with chicken or poultry. You don't do that, but with the ribs, I don't know. That's a little tough too, because how do you normally serve a rib if it was on like a buffet or something? Is you're going to cut it into the bones. You're going to cut it and
yeah,
I don't know. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them to actually come up to temp.
Yep. Another thing I thought of, obviously a lot of people don't have chafers. Now, granted, the little wire rack ones you can get at Walmart, they're what, $7-8, something like that.
Yeah.
Plus whatever the sternos cost. So it's not like a huge deal to get those if people really wanted to. But I know a lot of people are like, I'm going to use this once and never use it again. So just get one of those $18 coolers from Walmart. When your meat's done, put it in there. You can wrap it in. Oh, I thought my thing just went away. I was like, oh, crap, I lost signal. You can wrap it in blankets or something if you want. Obviously, have it covered in foil if you're going to wrap it in blankets. You don't just want a blanket touching your meat. That'd be weird. But drop it down in the cooler. It will stay warm for hours.
So I pulled up chafing dishes here this is Webstaurant store. It's an online ordering restaurant supply. Yeah, we get quite. I've done a lot of stuff with the restaurant store, and the restaurant store and the Webstaurant store are actually the same company. The restaurant store is just they have outlets. They have places you can walk into, and they have everything from budget stuff that's their own house brands and their own house brands that are usually budget all the way up to some really high end stuff. I was looking at flat tops at griddles the other day. We needed to order a griddle, and they had griddles that were anywhere from $1,000 up to $18,000. So they have a little bit of everything. They had an $18,000 Vulcan chrome topped, 1.25 inch thick flat top. It was like, oh, holy shit. But so there's all sorts of stuff here. But for $27, here's a super basic chafer. And this is a 8-quart. It's called an 8-quart, but it's a full size. It holds a full size hotel pan, or you can put 3/3 pans. You can put 2 half pans in that. If you have multiple things, you can get split pans. You can get all sorts of stuff, and they get really nice and expensive. I forget which one. I bought I have a round and a rectangle that I actually just bought recently. And I forget which one I bought. I don't remember. But if you use it a couple times a year, just buy a chafer. And the fuel is really inexpensive. You can get 1 or 2 cans of fuel. You can actually buy the fuels at a lot of grocery stores nowadays, when you need it. And the wire ones work. And the and they have the disposable pans, which is fine too. So if you want to go something like that, super cheap, fine. But for $30 you can buy a chafer. I would buy a chafer if it's something that you dig. And there's different ones, different shapes and all kind of cool shit. So
Ooh, fancy ones.
Yeah. They'll get super expensive. You can get up into the couple $100. Foss says we sell the 3-pack of sterno. Yeah, most grocery stores do. A lot of times the grocery stores are smaller than the ones you get they're like half size, and they'll only be good for like an hour and a half or something. Usually the big sternos will go for 3 hours, and the small ones only will go for like an hour or something, but that's fine. Well, here you go. Here's here's the Choice. That's their brand. Choice half-size disposable wire chafer stand kit. So this comes with looks like it comes with a sterno, the pan, and the stand. So
Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, right. Look at this one. Looks like Cinderella's pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
That's what her carriage turned into.
Her carriage, yeah. My shoe.
She's gonna drop out. Boink.
Yeah. $10, $11 for that one for a wire one.
All in there.
Yeah, but that first one you had for like what, $20-$25? I mean,
that was if you bought 4 of them. So it actually was like $35. If you bought 1 to 3, it's $35. But for you guys that do a lot of stuff at the house, you should definitely have one. I would think you'd use the hell out of it.
Yeah, honestly, I think a 4-pack is a really good way to go to, because then if you're a person that likes to do Super Bowl parties, anything like that, you can have one for wings, you can have one for meatballs, you can have one for the big cut of meat, whatever you decided to do, whether it was a ham or turkey, whatever the hell, and then you just got that extra if something gets damaged or if you decide something else.
Yeah. There's all sorts of there's tons of stuff on here though. I mean, if you guys ever want to if anybody ever wants to have a show where we peruse around the rest of the Webstaurant store, for stuff, let me know. If you guys are ever looking for anything, we can look it up. This is a good place. Some of the stuff is free shipping, some of it's not.
If you do that, you're really going to cut into my gun funds.
Yeah, right. And then if I'll tell you what, let me show you what knives I bought. You guys were talking about kitchen knives. Let me show you the kitchen knives I bought. And they're relatively new. Let me see if they have them. They should have them. I think they're Schrade. And these are pretty good. I obviously haven't used them yet. But Schraff here. They have a really cool handle. It's a rubberized handle. They're a pretty thick blade. Like they're pretty nice for the price. I was really surprised. I actually got one of these. And it's kind of hard if you see that. Here, this is good. See how the blade's like rubberized? It has. So if you you guys that do barbecue and stuff that always have like, you know, meat juices and all sorts of shit floating around, oil in your hands and stuff, these would be really good. And they actually have, they're not a super thick blade, but it's a good steel. It's actually a German knife. Not that that really means anything, honestly. I'll be 100% honest. I don't care where one's made. I'm not sure if if they have a sister company or not. Like a lot of knives will be like it's a Henkel or it's a Forstner or something, but they make these also. But yeah, these are pretty good. I bought a bunch of these. I bought this in basically everything. I bought this style of blade this style of knife in paring knives, boning knives, chef's knives, and bread knives too. Offset serrated knives.
You know, the goddamn Germans got nothing to do with it.
I'm saying, like, that knife there that you're just showing is only $16. I mean, the Dexter Russells I buy are equal price, if not a little bit more, probably.
Yeah. So next time you need a knife, check these out. I thought they were pretty. I thought they were really nice. We'll see. I'm gonna bang. You know, hopefully pretty soon I'll be able to start using them.
So since it's a rubberized handle, what would you compare it to? Something? Would you say it's comparable to like the Magpul rubberized AR grip?
It's more like a Hogue grip.
Okay.
It's kind of like the grip on my wife's 938, or I have a Howa Legacy rifle with the Hogue overmolded stock. It's a hard rubber, but it's not as hard as some of the butt stocks that you see. So, yeah.
So do you throw those into that gigantic dishwasher thing every night?
Yeah, we'll run them through the dishwasher, and that's why I don't buy super expensive knives. They're going to get banged up, and they're just house knives. We'll see how they hold up. If the handles, you can usually tell when you wash something once or twice what the handles feel like if it's a rubberized handle. If we're going to keep doing it, or if we're just going to wash them by hands, we're not going to have a ton of staff. So if we wash them by hand, it's no big deal. But you got to watch, because we are going to have a high temp dishwasher. So that kind of stuff if you don't have to wash in the dishwasher, you probably shouldn't. But in a restaurant, we do a lot of dumb shit that you're not supposed to.
Yeah, that's why I like my Dexter Russells is that texturing that they put on them.
Yeah, and the only thing with the Dexters in restaurants is, for me is the hard plastic handles, the hard plastic grips. And a lot of times when if your hands are wet or you have gloves on and you have a little something on your gloves, like you're handling stuff, they get slick and they want to twist in your hand and stuff. That's why I like these, because I feel like they're going to give you a little better grip.
Yeah.
I cannot stand to have my knife hand dirty or wet when I'm using a knife. It just irks me. So it doesn't bother me so much, but other staff and stuff. Here, this one's great for you. This is all you, buddy.
What does it see for me?
Pink.
Red Rocket.
Red Rocket action going on there.
There you go. Yeah. Neon pink.
All right.
Giggity.
But yeah, come on. If you get the Dexter Russells and you get a soldering iron and you can just stipple it.
Mm-hmm. Let me see if they.
It's
Yeah,
like
they have the Dexter Russell Velo, Duoglide, and 360 series. I'm not sure which those are. There's a Dexter Russell Sandy Safe. There's a Dexter Russell Soft Grip. They got a bunch of Dexter. I used to own the Dexter Russell Connoisseurs. They were the wooden handles. They were nice knives.
Yeah, all the ones I have are the white handle Sandy Safes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys down in the Keys use Dexter Russells for filleting fish.
Yeah.
You know, with that flexible, not a chef knife, but,
Yeah, boning knife. Yep. Yeah, flexible boning knife.
Yep.
And I would say, like, honestly, if you're just getting bang around knives, the stuff that you can buy, like their house brands, are fine. I almost went with them. I've used cheap knives for years because we had a knife service that they would come once a week, switch them out.
Nice.
And honestly, that they were super inexpensive stamped blade, cheap, hard black handles, plastic handles. And I'm just not a knife. I'm not a knife snob by any means. Oh, there's Shun. Shuns are one of my favorite knives, though.
So you're our snob.
No, it's not. I
like look pretty. That's why.
I like certain Shuns because I don't like these. I wouldn't buy one of these because I don't like these. But there's a Shun Edo that's really super ergonomic grip, and I love them. But these I wouldn't. I don't like them. I don't prefer a round handle.
So you're definitely function over form for sure.
100%, yeah, 100%. I'll use a $5 knife if I like it. If it feels good in my hand, I don't give a shit.
It'll cut an apple and a Coke can.
That's right.
It's a kid's.
So Midnight, do you guys, if you're not using that knife service, do you guys send the knives out to somebody to sharpen for you, or do you just do that in house?
No, we're just gonna do it in house. I have two different regular steels, and then I have a ceramic steel too. And then if I need to, I'll buy a sharpener or something. But we're not gonna send them out. Especially at prices like that, you can buy a chef's knife for $14 or something like that. If they're gonna charge you $1 or $2 every week to switch them out, it doesn't sound like a whole lot, but you can pay for the knife without, knife pays for itself pretty quick if you cut off a knife service,
Yep.
So there you go. Here's a nice. Here's that style in a scimitar style.
Seeing Gizzard and his hens think they do knife chats.
There's a little pork belly.
Oh, is that Salt Bay guy?
Yeah.
What a douchebag.
Yeah. Oh, that guy. I know, man. I know. I hammer him on Instagram sometimes too. I get after him.
Do you?
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh my God. That guy.
There's one video where he's doing I don't want to say it's meatloaf, but it's some sort of ground beef and it's seasoned, and he's working it, he's slapping it around and moving it around, and I'm like, dude, that's the worst thing you could be doing for that right now. What the fuck are you doing? Mix it, don't let it get warm, and he's slapping it around and moving it and doing figure eights with it for a minute, and I'm like, dude, get out of here with that shit. You just warmed up all the fat. That's going to be tough now. Asshole.
That's his shtick, though. Whatever it is, I don't know.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff people dig. I mean, I'm not saying their food's not awesome at the place that he has or whatever, but there's certain things I don't prefer. Like when they do things on the bone, they always show how the bone just falls out. I don't love that. I don't love a rib that's cooked to the point where it just like falls apart.
Absolutely correct.
It's
I
pulled pork.
I want a little bit of bite. I want a little bit of chew. You know,
where's TPC? He's all high on drugs right now. He couldn't join. So
no, he on life.
Yeah, he hurt his back or something. He was on some painkillers, but
dude, I'll tell you what. Sorry.
I'm just going to agree with you. The bite, it's that fall off the bone persona that you get with all these rib joints. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of the issue is people have just heard it for so long.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
They think that's how it's supposed to be. And I will argue until I'm blue in the face with somebody that fall off the bone is overcooked. Now, is that to say that you're wrong if that's how you like it? No. If that's how you like it, that's how you like it. That's fine. But it's still overcooked.
If you're buying it from me and you want it to fall off the bone, then go ahead.
Exactly.
What were you going to say, Midnight? Sorry.
I fucking jacked up my neck last night, and I've been on ibuprofen and stuff all day. And I was just telling my wife before they went upstairs to bed, I was like, I'm gonna take a Flexeril and some ibuprofen before I sleep tonight, because it's my about halfway up my head behind my ear down to my collarbone is like,
oh, I hate that,
on fire. Oh, it's so annoying.
So I actually have a knife question on this one for the four that are in that picture. That third one down, what's with the little slashes in the blade itself?
It's called a Granton edge or a scalloped edge. Sometimes you'll see it called. I actually learned it as a scalloped edge back in the day, and they call it a Granton edge. And what it does is it gives less. It causes or results in less surface edge or surface area for the food to come in contact with. And if you cut, it's really noticeable when you cut something like a potato.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
If you cut a potato in half with a chef's knife, if you just go straight down through it or try and pull through it, the potato sticks like a son of a bitch. It'll cause it'll like vacuum seal itself or vacuum suck itself to the knife and gets really stuck. When you have an edge like that, it gives you little less contact and it won't stick as much. So it's the same thing when if you're cutting. That one's specifically made to cut meats, so it helps with the drag through the meat. It doesn't pull as much, it doesn't drag as much, there's not as much contact.
I was actually laughing the one time. Now, I don't think any of my Dexter Russells are actually a Granton edge, but my mom was over at my place helping cook dinner and stuff the one night, and she was going to cut the potatoes for me while I was out messing with the smoker. And I was like, she's like, you got a knife? I was like, do you want the crappy knives out of the butcher block, or do you want my good knives? She's like, I don't care, give me a knife. I was like, okay, here, this is very, very sharp. So she goes to cut this potato like she normally would with her crappy knives, and I mean, it just went straight through like it was nothing. I was like, I told you that is really sharp. She's like, Jesus Christ, you have a dull one? I was like, yeah, over in the wood block.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So that's it. This is actually the knife this is the one I bought. This is the Santoku knife with the Granton edge. And this will probably be my primary chef's knife at the restaurant, because I like a Santoku knife. I like a knife that's not too big. I actually prefer like an 8-inch, but they only had a 7. And then the Granton edge is super, super helpful. If you cook a lot at the house, and if you cut vegetables a lot, especially, get a Granton edge knife, because it's really, really helpful.
I know this picture is supposed to help showcase the knife, but if that dude grips that knife like that, I'm gonna kick him in the face.
Well, there's 2 things going on there. One, he needs to ride up on the handle a little bit and get that finger. Yeah, get that finger. The only thing that bothers me more is when people put their finger, their index finger, their pointer finger, on the back of the blade. That's a really bad habit, and you lose a lot of your wrist strength with that. And if you've never done it, take a chef's knife and do that once. Grab it like you normally would, and then instead of holding it like that, put your index finger on the back of the blade, and you lose a lot of your side to side strength.
Yeah.
The knife.
The only.
The knife, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I do the index finger on the back of the blade on my skinning knife when I'm skinning a deer.
Yeah, that's a little different though.
That's not cutting. Right. I know.
Yeah. You get a lot of this when you have I've seen some cooks, have some pretty close calls with that because their wrist will break and they'll come awful with their cutting and almost cut their fingers and stuff. It's a habit I always break whenever I see a cook have a bad grip on a knife. I always beat it out of them real quick because it's dangerous,
Walk up behind him with an air horn.
Yeah. And it's tough because when somebody has poor knife skills, it's because they've never been taught right, or they've never had anybody that's been willing to take the time to teach them. So they'll continue those bad skills, and they won't understand why they're so slow and why their stuff looks like shit when you try and cut something nicely, or why they almost cut themselves a lot or whatever. And you got to break them of those habits, right? It's just like anything else. But in the process of breaking those habits and trying to get them to do it the right way, they always cut themselves. Not always, but they usually cut themselves because now they're trying to do it a different way that they're not used to. But after they get over that hump and, they're like, oh, no, this is really nice, then they're good to go. But when people don't have their left hands, their fingers bent and they're cutting like this, and it's like, dude, you can't do that. Like, I am not going to allow you to do that. And, they always fuss and fight and they get pissed off. But, after a week or two of doing it the right way, then they're good to go and they understand. A lot of people in the restaurants too, that they'll say that they don't understand why they're slow. And it's because they have bad technique.
Where's that video of you chopping an onion and bringing on all challengers? Let's see who can chop the onion the fastest, right?
Yeah. I actually watched a video the other day of two guys in a kitchen blindfolded facing each other, and they each had like 12 halves of onion, and they had to julienne it or something like that, like I did. And they were, it was a race. It was fun to watch.
I was gonna ask, Midnight, do you have any how-to videos on your channel of proper knife technique, how to cut an onion? Because a lot of people have no idea how to properly cut an onion or green peppers and bell peppers in general.
Not standalone. I've in some of the cooking videos, whenever I've done something, I've showed how to do it. But I don't have a whole lot. I don't have a series of like knife skills videos or anything like that. Maybe I could do that once I get back into the kitchen here, and I'm going to be doing a lot of prep. Obviously, I could maybe do some stuff like that. But onions, tomatoes, that kind of stuff. Tomatoes are another one that people have a lot of trouble with, and it's because they've never been showed a good way to do. How to core a tomato, or with the onions, how to dice an onion. I show people how to dice an onion, and they've never been shown how to do it that way. And it's so simple and so easy. And I've showed it in videos before. Everybody does that old technique where you cut straight down and then you cut straight back, straight in, and then you try and dice it. And it's just totally unnecessary and it's goofy. And I don't know why the hell people have ever been taught to do that. It doesn't make any sense. But
speaking of shit that bothers me, Gordon Ramsay, when he shows you how to do stuff like that, he doesn't curl his fingers back. He's got his fingertips right next to the knife. He goes, "This is how you do it."
I've never noticed that.
Oh my! That drives me crazy.
Mm.
I cut the ends of my fingers off. I'd look like an Ewok or something.
Yeah,
Looks like a
Yeah.
snake.
and we've all done it, and I've cut myself a bunch of times. I mean, we all have. I tend to do is I always curl my fingers, but I tend to bring the knife up too far sometimes, and then I'll come down and I'll take a chunk out of my finger, which always fucking hurts. That hurts like a son of a bitch, man. When you take a divot out of it and it's clean, that is a big surface area and it burns like a son of a bitch, man.
And
But that's-
tonight's special is whatever that was.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. And you end up throwing everything away. I know it does. It sucks and it pisses you off too. Cause, I'll tell you what, most times out of personal experience here, most times when I cut myself, it's right before I'm done doing something.
Oh,
So-
so everything's ruined.
Yeah. So if I have to cut, a half gallon of, yellow onions, I'll get down to the last half and cut myself because I'm not paying attention anymore, or tomato or something like that. Because I'm thinking about, okay, as soon as I cut this, I'm going to go over there. I got to do this and I got to do this. And then I slice my finger or something.
I was cutting on a mandolin the other day. I didn't quit till it hit my elbow.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man, mandolins, if any kind of hand equipment could be called like the Widowmaker, it would be a fucking mandolin.
Like a PTO and a tractor with the guy wrapped around it.
Especially a Japanese man. Have you ever seen a Japanese mandolin?
Yeah.
Holy smokes! Let me see if I'll put one up here. I'll
You should
do
Google mandolin fails.
Yeah. Oh no way! I don't even want to. That. Oh my god! I'd get sick to my stomach probably.
Probably just like there's a broken strings on a instrument.
So mandolin. This is a French mandolin. These guys, and I think this is the one I bought here actually, as a matter of fact. And they have a guard with them, but if you're, maybe girls use the guards. I don't use the guard. I just, freehand it. But so they have 4 points of where they sit down in the front and 2 in the back, and they're very steady. And then when you get down here to like this fucking thing, which is a Japanese mandolin, they have a guard too, which the problem with the guard is you can never quite get everything with the guard. So you end up throwing the guard away and just doing it by hand anyway. But these only attach, they don't have legs on them. So, and I have one of these. And you can get it basically on the other mandolin, the blade is thicker. It's more like a knife where it's sharp, but it's kind of thick. Literally on the Japanese mandolin, this is almost like a razor. It's very thin. And you just set it on the table and you hold it up with your other hand. So it gets all wobbly. You're like, if you're limp wristing with the wrist you're holding it with, it's all over the place. And they can be pretty brutal. Foss says his wife has one. Yeah, they're awesome. They do some super fine cut stuff. But I'll tell you what, if you're not the first couple times you use them, it's pretty scary.
Well, and go from hour 1 when you come in versus hour 10.
Right.
You got to do this shit. You're like, all of a sudden you're missing 4 fingers.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say this though. We'll say again.
I was gonna say I feel like the Japanese mandolin would be really good for doing super thin onions for onion smash burgers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. They're great for that. They have a julienne attachment that you can do like carrots and stuff, super paper thin. Anything you can do on a regular mandolin, you can do it on a Japanese mandolin. It's just 10 times more dangerous. Yeah, but I will say this. I mean, $138, is like, I think actually, you know what? I think I paid more than that. I don't think that's the one I got. I think this is the one I got. This is $190. I will say this. I had this one at my last job, and I was there, and I had it for 15 years.
No.
And I used the shit. I mean, you can imagine how, banged up it gets, dropped on the floor, all that kind of stuff. So, for home use, you definitely don't need to buy that. You buy one of these smaller ones, this little dude here for 50-something bucks or whatever. But if you're going to use it hard, buy a good one, and it'll last you forever. You can I used to take the blade off of it. You're not even really supposed to do this. I used to take the blade off of it and just run a steel across it and sharpen it back up by hand and put it back on. Like, they're pretty awesome. They're cool to have.
Is it on Websterot?
Yeah.
Still? Yeah. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on the ones that sit over like a giant plastic bowl?
I've never used anything like that, and the only reason I haven't is because I have the space to not have to put it over top of a bucket or something. Are you talking about something almost like a Japanese one that fits, that you can lay across or something?
Yeah, basically, it's like a Japanese one, except it's got a fitted dish underneath it, so it catches everything. So
I see what you're saying.
Take it off, and then you got whatever the heck you were just slicing right there already in the dish.
Yeah, I've never looked into anything like that. It just doesn't fit my MO,
It was cheap on Amazon. It was like $20. I was like, I don't think this is going to be good.
Yeah, I will
Looks
say
great,
that I will say for the price, these Japanese ones, and I mean, when I first started buying Japanese mandolins, they were like $10 a piece. For the price, they're good. Like they're plastic and they look cheap and they feel cheap, but they hold up. They do a good job. You're not doing hard stuff on it though. You're using it for vegetables. You're using it for things that are a little more delicate. If you're going to be doing thick cut stuff, you can't use a Japanese mandolin. You got to go with one of the real guys here. And these, like I say, they aren't as sharp. So they're not as good with the real fine, delicate stuff, but they're a workhorse, and that's, what I would recommend.
So what about, since we're talking about gadgets, what about those, those potato, like the French fry thing where you put the whole potato in, you crank down the lever and it shits out. And then you got the one with the tomatoes that cuts off the tomatoes. You guys have that kind of stuff?
Yeah, my old job, the job that I was working at, let me see here.
Oh, what about the slap chop?
This is what you're talking about. Something like this.
My nuts.
Something like this.
Yeah.
Where you slam it through. So the only place I've ever worked that has one is the place that I worked part-time when I was at my last job, and I had 2 jobs going. And they used to use it for onions, and they used to use it for tomatoes. And as long as the blades are in good shape, it works pretty good. So basically for tomatoes, to dice them, we would take tomatoes, slice them, and then we did Roma tomatoes there. So they would take a Roma tomato or a plum tomato, cut it in half, and then put the cut side down and slam it down. And it would kind of dice it. With the onions, it takes a lot of force. For the home use, I would not recommend it. For you guys that are like, if you're saying like, I'm going to get that and then I can make soup or something, it ain't worth it. It's not worth the money. And if you're if you do that and the people in your house don't know what you're doing, they're going to think that you're slamming a baseball bat on the counter or something. Like, you really have to hammer it down. They're going to wonder, what the hell, if you're getting a fight with John Wick or something, he's slamming your head off the counter. So I don't think so. Now for for tomatoes, because you don't have to do it as hard, maybe, but again, I'm not really sure what home cook is going to need to dice that many tomatoes.
I'd also like to point out, if you look at the name of this up above, anything that with that long of a name probably shouldn't be bought.
Heavy duty large vegetable dicer.
Yeah. XLD C12.
Heavy. Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you what, when you get into it's just like anything else though. Like, XL is the size. It's the guard XL. DC probably stands for dicer. And then 12.5, like, it all has a meaning. So when you look through a restaurant, like, I'm ordering shelving. When I ordered all the shelves for the restaurants, the size of the shelves is actually in the name. So it'll be like Regency. Here, I'll show you. It's kind of funny because when you get into here. There, we'll just do these. A lot of times when you see, like, this is just one shelf, but it'll be the Advanced Tabco SH 1836. So 1836 is the size. So when I'm getting all these boxes delivered, on the outside of the box, it'll say like Regency, and then like a couple of things, and it'll say like 4230, and I know it's a 42-inch shelf, 42 by 30-inch shelf. So that's why some of these have some weird, it's all purpose driven.
Yep. So, Midnight, I thought of another topic you could cover sometime.
What's up?
The different onions.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet,
white, yellow,
white, red.
Yeah, we've talked about that a little bit. White onions are garbage for caramelization. They won't caramelize for shit.
Mm-hmm.
I had a guy buy white onions. I needed onions. We ran out of onions, and somebody went to the store, and I needed to caramelize onions for something. And they bought white onions, and I was like, nope, take them back. Get me the yellows. The white onions just don't have enough sugar in them. All they do is melt down to nothing. They're good for soups and shit. They're very mild, but they don't caramelize for shit. They don't have enough sugar in them.
Is a shallot really an onion?
Yeah, it's in the onion family. I mean, everybody says that a shallot. Everybody says that a shallot is a hybrid of onion garlic. I'm not 1,000% sure. I'll pull it up here and we'll see what it is. See what it says.
They're delicious.
Yeah, I like shallots a lot. I never have them. I'll say this, in the 15 years that I was at my last restaurant, I never ordered shallots once.
Huh.
If I ever wanted the flavor of a shallot, I would just use red onions and garlic. Here's Wikipedia.
Wiki.
Shallot is a botanical variety of the onion, so it is an onion variety. The shallot was classified as a separate species. The name that blah 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 blah. Close relative to the garlic, onion, leek, and chive. Yeah, shallots are nice. Shallots are a necessity in French cooking. I mean, the French they just pounded shallots into everything.
The French.
The fucking French. Sons of bitches.
Now, I know we're getting off your topic here, but
yeah, go ahead.
But when would you decide to use like a garlic press versus just mincing up garlic? I mean,
Oh, you mean for the home use?
No. Well, I guess either or.
Because okay, sometimes I forget that we're talking about home use. Sometimes, so at home, garlic press is awesome. One of the little hand presses you're talking about.
Yeah.
Awesome, great, fantastic. I don't have an issue with those at all. Some people are purists and they say like, oh, you should always cut it with a knife, or you should always do this or always do that. It's like the Goodfellas thing where they were slicing with a razor blade.
Oh yeah, prison garlic.
Yeah, I'm totally okay with a garlic press. I think they're fucking cool little gadgets. What threw me off was in the restaurant, I just throw it in a food processor.
Oh, okay.
So I take a food processor. Yeah, and you can get the smaller ones. Little small guys work really good. If you put garlic cloves that are peeled, and we just buy 5 pounds of garlic cloves at a time, and they're peeled and they're ready to go. And we just dump them right in the food processor and pulse it just until it's chopped up to the size that we want. And then scrape it into a container. And, if you're going to keep it for a while, it's smart to cover it in oil. It helps from so it doesn't oxidize. A lot of the chopped garlic that you buy at the store, at the grocery store is in water. And that's kind of a bummer because it draws out a lot of the flavor and can make the garlic kind of like watery and like weird texturally. But you don't really notice it because you're cooking it in stuff. Yeah, we just and if you're going to use the food processor thing, don't put anything else in it when you're processing the garlic. A lot of people that make that mistake, they're like, I've had cooks do that, where they put the garlic in and then they dump like a cup or two of olive oil in there. And because we used to, if you don't use it fast enough, like I said, you can top it with some olive oil and it keeps it fresher. But they'll put it in there and they'll think like, well, I'll just do it all at once. And instead of chopping it, it'll puree it. It'll just turn it into like a garlic and oil, like a garlic puree. So you just want to put it in there dry and pulse it until it's chopped up to what you want it to. And if you're going to use a lot of garlic, that is 100% the way to go. I'm telling you, it's worth it.
I hate cutting garlic only because it's so sticky with all the oils.
It's tedious too.
Yeah.
I hate chopping. I don't like chopping garlic either, for sure.
But I don't like garlic presses either. I've tried them 3 times, and every time it just squishes it, and I'm like, this sucks. And I end up cutting it anyways.
Because it doesn't push it through, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's a lot of garlic presses that the part that presses is flat, and that's stupid. It's best if you can find one that has like posts or ridges so that it actually pushes it through a little bit better. That can be an issue. Another thing to do with, that you can do with garlic too is, to do it on a grater. You could always grate it too, but you got to watch your fingers for sure,
That was my next question. The microplane seems to be a thing with garlic.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is. The problem with the microplane is you can only get about half the clove done, and then you're left with, well, should I go farther and possibly risk losing a finger? And then you end up chopping it with a knife anyway. So,
yeah,
I really like to cut my garlic with Japanese mandolins.
Yeah, there you go. Who needs fingers? Fingers are for pussies. Fingers are for pussies. You don't need that.
Wait.
Wait, they are. Actually, I was right. I was right the first time. Yeah.
Well, you had 2 in the pink and
1 crayon in the stink.
Oh shit.
One where you got the prison garlic from.
That's right. So that's I don't know. I mean, like I said, again, working in a restaurant, I might be a little spoiled, but we'll put we'll take a a pound and a half of garlic and throw it in a food processor and pulse it and be done, and have enough garlic for a week, in a couple of minutes. So.
Yeah, I'd probably ruin my my spice grinder that I've got as my coffee grinder.
Don't use it. Yeah, don't use it in a spice grinder. Don't use it in a spice grinder. That won't work. Or if it does, you can only do like one clove at a time, and it probably does a piss poor job anyway. But they do make some of those little 2-cup food processors, and those things actually work pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would be enough to throw in like maybe a dozen cloves, which would be enough for, whatever you're doing. And it's worth it. I will say this, once you use it for garlic, it's going to smell like garlic for a long time, if not ever. So be careful what you use it in. You know what I mean? Yep. Sharing the screens, Instagrams. Let's see what's on Instagram. Let's see what's going on. Did I post anything? I don't remember. Did I post anything this week?
You slacker.
Did I? I think I did. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was last week or the other week. Couldn't do the show.
Mm-hmm.
Tips for ordering was last week's. And little guy took a. It's how anti-gun guys eat corn.
Moo, what are you doing there?
I thought it was Moo too.
Don't ask him. No. I was getting ready for my MMA fight.
We went to get pizza the other day. Because he missed school and it was pizza day and he was so excited to have pizza day at school. So I was like, well, fuck it. We did online school and I was like, let's go get some pizza. Holy shit. We went to a local pizza place that we go to and I really like it. It's they're super friendly. They're really nice. It's really clean. And they do crazy ass pizzas. They do like, not just like taco pizzas or whatever. They had pizzas with onion rings on them. They were doing bruschetta pizzas that day. They do like pickle and ranch pizza, all sorts of crazy shit. And this was a ham. I didn't even realize it was a stuffed pizza at first. So that's what made me take a picture of it. I was like, oh, that looks awesome. Then it was ham, pepperoni, and salami. And then when I realized they brought it out and put it down, I was like, holy shit, that thing's thick. And it was a stuffed pizza. So it's like jackpot.
So this is like a pizza calzone?
It's a stuffed pizza, and then they had a chocolate Nutella pizza that we got a slice of that. Little dude really liked that.
Oh yeah.
One of the pizza places we have in our mall, they do a stuffed pizza, but what it is it has like two crusts. You got the bottom crust, and then they put cheese and whatever. If it's like a meat lovers, it would have like pepperoni and ham and whatever. Yeah. And then you got the top crust, and it'll have cheese on it. So it's basically almost like a pie, and man, it's great.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So
when you get a slice, they give you this huge slice and they cut it in 2 slices. And then like, since it's stuffed, they'll give you like a little container of sauce, dipping sauce. So you can dip the pizza and stuff in there. So it comes out awesome, man.
Yeah, it was pretty slamming, man. So that was.
Yeah, that looks good, man.
So that first picture right there. What a little baby shoes bite right there on that thing. It's like perfect, like shark bite.
I'll tell you what, that doesn't look like a big bite, but that is a big ass piece of pizza.
He must have his mama's teeth.
Well, that's my slice of pizza. So.
Oh, never mind. You got a pretty mouth.
Purdy. Let's see what we got going on here. When you give him a blowjob on a hot, sweaty day, tangy pickle.
That's a little gooch juice in there.
Wait, Calaveras has his own Doritos? What the hell?
I was just going to say, we'll tag Calaveras in this one.
The gooch juice is real. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I always say this. I always use that phrase because it's funny, because I think it's such a horrible way to describe somebody. But I was like, tag your old lady in this. Calling somebody's wife or girlfriend their old lady has got to be like the worst thing ever. And I always think it's funny. I always do it just because I think it's horrible.
That's a Cheech and Chong song. Just
Yeah.
me, my old lady. Gucci Chew.
Yeah. I don't know how could this possibly go wrong?
Hey, at least he's wearing his helmet.
Yeah, around his elbow. Wait. Oh, shit. And they're dead.
Oh, damn.
Bum, bum, ba-da.
Whoops! I gave it 30 points.
Did you guys see this shootout?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that was insane.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, everybody's channel has it out there.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I didn't do sound, I don't think. Fuck, I always forget. You assholes always get. What are you here for if you're not here to remind me about putting the sound on?
Actually, the
Hey, Midnight.
sound was on.
Oh,
You're
what?
supposed to click the little button that says share audio.
So is there any more info with that?
What do you mean?
Yeah,
That
he's
shootout.
dead. He took 15 40
15
cal to
rounds.
the back of the head.
Nah.
Mm-hmm.
The cop that got shot, he's doing fine.
That's good.
No, I didn't hear anything about the dude other than he got shot, I don't know, 1,000 times or something.
15 rounds. You can count them. It's 15 rounds at half.
Was that at the very end there?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no sound now.
Yeah, I have the volume off now. Yeah, so he and a lot of people, some people didn't even notice either. Like he comes around the car, and these guys, because they were behind the SUV, didn't even see him go around them.
Yeah,
They are
And then
actually
gets the knob
they are incredibly lucky that his gun was non-functional, because he'd have plugged him right in the back of the head.
Yep.
He actually comes around and hits that guy. He pistol whips that guy. And that's
I'm not sure
when the
what
other
flying
dude.
off there.
Well, I'm not 1,000% sure either, and I'm going to let this play for a second, and then plug.
Here's the only
So-
problem I have there
Go ahead.
is if you or I did that, we'd be looking at a felony murder charge.
Right. Well,
And I'm not saying that
yeah.
I am demonizing the cop or anything. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying when cops showed up to that scene and we said, yeah, I plugged them in the back of the head 10 times.
Yeah.
They're going to say, oh, yeah, you went from self-defense to committing murder.
Mm-hmm. DJ Play Nice says, "Wee." I don't know what's going on with this. New mother wins $255,000 settlement after job refuses to reduce her hours so she could pick up her child from daycare. I didn't read this. I just saw that and I was like, well, let's click on that shit. Mother in England won over $250,000 in a settlement from her employer after they denied her request to reduce her hours so that she could pick up her daughter from daycare. Alice Thompson was awarded £185, which is roughly whatever, on August 12th, after a judge made the decision in an employment tribunal case. Thompson had asked her employers at a real estate agency if she could end her shift an hour early from her usual 9 to 6 to coverage so that she could have time with her daughter from daycare. She also requested a 4-day work week, which was also denied. Thompson claimed her requests were never seriously considered, and her employer didn't even offer her any other alternatives. If they needed me for full hours, maybe 8 till 5 instead of 9 till 6, that's something I could have worked, but it was shut down at every avenue, left with no other options. So this is kind of a tough one because it does, there are a whole lot of gray areas, right? Like you have somebody hired and then they can't fulfill the hours that you hired them for, like, is it your responsibility to do that, or do they, or is it their responsibility to move on and find another job that fits their lifestyle better? You know, the tribunal determined that the claimant represented that flexible working appeared not to be considered properly, as in our finding it was not, and felt that this was an injustice because of her sex, which it was, leading to her payout for indirect discrimination. So, and again, this isn't the United States.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if somebody, an employee comes to me and says, hey, I can only ever work till 3:00. If they're a good, whether they're a good employee or not, I might be able to accommodate that, and I might not. Wife, look at that drunk guy. Husband, who is he? Wife, 10 years back, he proposed to me and I rejected him. Husband, oh my God, he's still celebrating?
Slap.
And dead husband.
I'm not saying that Tremors was a documentary and a real documentary, but might have been. Shoomp. Cow's gone. Cow's gone.
It's a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Moo.
Fell in a fucking sinkhole.
That's right. That's right. It was last week.
So this was sent in by Rob D. Ah!
Ooh.
Ooh.
He is Batman.
Little help here, bud. Oh.
Anybody?
Kind of in a bit of
Remo
pickle here
Williams.
myself.
They eventually do get him.
Another fifth grader. Whoa. But you don't need to see Faith to know she is special.
Temperatures in near 32.
The 11-year-old already has her own segment on Massachusetts Talking Information Network, a radio station for the visually impaired.
I am 11 years old and blind.
Faith reads her copy in Braille. She's quick with a joke.
Is there anything you can't do, Faith?
See?
Bitch.
This guy's comment down here. Reporter, I see what you just did there. The girl, I don't.
Bum, bum, ba-da.
Is there anything you can't do? See. And that lady was like, oh, fuck.
Like, cut to my commercial. Cut the commercial.
Oh, this one's rough.
Oh, I saw that one.
Ooh. Well, thankfully the front end is mostly
like walk away.
Oops, sorry.
Walk away.
So
Walk
this
away.
guy just looks at it and just walks back over to the office and probably like, oh fuck, I'm just gonna pack up my shit and leave.
He goes, well, that's fun.
Well, they had the engine out, so
Yeah. And that's probably what it was. They must have just taken the engine out and probably didn't realize that it was so off center gravity, you know?
Well, I mean, that's kind of what guys do the best. We fuck something up, I'm out.
There's too many dead hookers in the trunk.
That's it.
Was it Hunter Biden's car?
Yeah. Says times when people won the food lottery. Legendary huge curly fry.
Oh my God.
Big ass strawberry.
It's just a small hand.
It says my girlfriend found this in her Skittles today. It looks like an everlasting gobstopper from fucking Willy Wonka. The luckiest charm.
They'll never get small.
That's the best Lucky Charm ever. Where's Clover at?
Yeah, right.
What is it?
It's one big Lucky Charm like rainbow, but it's
Like they extruded it,
2
but it
inches
didn't cut it
long.
off.
Yeah, it's like
Oh.
2 inches long.
Giant marshmallow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
There was a giant chip in my ice cream, big giant chunk of chocolate.
Also,
Vending machine at work made an error and distributed everything all at once.
The only problem is that you can't get anything out then.
Fuck that. You can get them out if you really want them out.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, but they won't let me use a hammer at work anymore because of that.
Yeah, probably. Oh, this thing is cool. This is a new Bentley. It's a Bentley Bacalar, and it's like a roadster. It's a convertible roadster. That thing is fucking sweet looking.
Oh yeah.
I don't like a lot of the Bentleys. A lot of the Bentleys I think are kind of weird looking because the front ends. This thing's pretty cool.
Meh.
This guy.
Looks like they took the front end off one of those new Can-Am Spiders.
Mm.
With that big maw there.
I like the color.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't like green very much, but that's pretty cool. Richard Brooks' estate sues Atlanta cops for his fatal shooting. So, this is still shit's still going on with this. He's the one that they kept questioning, and then when they went to put cuffs on him, he pulled the cop's taser and tried to shoot the cops with the taser. Yep, and they plugged him and killed him, shot him and killed him. And they're saying that cop was not the cop was not he had never completed the training for the taser certification course, so it's his fault.
That's bullshit because the taser certification course makes him certified to use it. Doesn't mean he can't carry it.
Yeah. So, there you go. Guy that comments says, R.I.P. Wendy's. Yeah, that Wendy's burned to the ground.
There was also a little girl that was murdered after that, too, about 7 or 8 years old. I'm surprised her family's not suing the hell out of Keisha Lance Bottoms and a bunch of other people in Atlanta.
The funniest student answers? I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. That's pretty good. This page intentionally left blank. Well, someone messed up. Before you read, some atoms share electrons and become more stable. Describe a situation in which people share something and everyone benefits. Communism.
Theoretical
Right.
communism.
Yeah, right.
AIDS.
What do we call the science of classifying living things? Racism. You're not write your essay on this page. Your essay.
Mhm.
The first cells were probably lonely. Here you go. Some non-binary, gender-neutral tampons. Just find a hole and hope for the best. Gunshot, stab wound, unnaturally large belly button. We have you covered, filled, or something. Jim on Instagram did this, and I thought this was kind of neat. He set alarms, or showed alarms that were set for when everything happened on 9/11. That was a pretty interesting thing to do.
I'd like to be left alone.
It says, when you feel the morning poke on day one of Shark Week.
today. Unless you have a snack in your hand made of some kind of cheese, fuck right off. I would like to be left alone today. Unless you have a snack in your hand made of some kind of cheese, fuck.
If you have a,
what
if it's Famunda cheese? See?
What if it only smells like cheese? Like
That's
cheese
right.
that's gone bad.
That's
like
right.
Really,
That's right.
really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Bloomberger.
Leash your dog. People are eating children in this area. Clean up after them. Thank you. Have you guys? Here you go. This is an interesting one from back in the day. Some kids nowadays will never know what it felt like to ride in the back of a Chevy S10.
I do.
My grandpa's Chevy S10 had those in the back. Little pull down guys, fold down seats.
Yep, they were sideways.
Yep.
My S10 had one.
Yeah.
Almost bought an S10. Then someone bought it and wrapped it around a tree.
No getting jiggy in the backseat of that.
Oh, you kind of can. You just got to open the third door.
You mean the beer window?
Is that a euphemism?
I might know from experience.
Not like a little PBR.
Tag roll call in that one. There's 99 can. It's a 99 can limited edition family pack. Said roll call. Got 99 problems, but the bitch ain't one. MKJO says the hump in the back of a Camaro. Yeah, in the seat on the floor. Yeah. Would be victim shoots armed robber in the face. We talked about this one. Dude walks up, says, "Show me your hands," and he said, "Show me your face."
Face plant.
Yeah.
You're trying to require anybody with a job or anybody who goes to school to get the COVID-19 vaccine, but you're not requiring that of migrants that continue walking across the southern border into the country.
Well, look, our objective is to get as many people vaccinated across the country as humanly possible. And so the president's announcement yesterday was an effort to empower businesses, to give businesses the tools to protect their workforces. That's exactly what we did. But certainly we want everybody to get vaccinated, and more people are vaccinated, whether they are migrants or whether they are workers, protects more people in the United States.
But it's a requirement for people at a business with more than 100 people. It is not a requirement for migrants at the southern border. Why?
That's correct.
Why is it that you're trying to...
She's like, that's correct. Okay.
Seeing what my dog would do if I choked.
It's pretending that she choked. Let's see what the dog does. Oh no, you need help. Don't grab that fucking knife.
Tricky ass me.
Dog's like, you didn't do it well enough. Let me help.
This is actual dash cam footage of last time Moo was down here in Pennsylvania. I don't know where Souderton is. Where is that? I don't know.
I cannot comment.
I feel like it's over up to 15.
He can't remember.
This is King Neckbeard. I commented never enough neckbeard.
Never enough neckbeard.
Never enough neck.
What's his neck?
Pizza the Hut.
Pizza the Hut.
Your mom gets a new boyfriend. Panic. He's a gamer. Calm. He's the guy who beat you at Halo 12 years ago and said he's gonna fuck your mom. Panic. Told you I was gonna do it. What the heck is this? Happy 4-year anniversary to the time I had sex in a swamp and got a UTI that resisted 3 antibiotics and spread to my kidneys. Shouldn't have been banging Shrek.
Somebody once told me.
Stop fucking Shrek.
What? She gonna fuck herself?
Well, this is funny.
What's white and 14 inches long? What? Nothing. What's black and long? What? Why not Popeyes?
Hit him.
I watch a lot of those.
Yeah, those are pretty funny. Oh, here you go. Choose a superhero. Moo, go.
Mermaid Man.
Mermaid Man? Ape.
Powdered Toast Man.
George, choose a superhero. Quick.
Crimson Chin.
Crimson Chin. Yeah, I picked Powdered Toast Man, too. I'm in here somewhere. Powdered Toast Man.
I can't hold on to you. Hold on to my buttocks.
Yeah.
I remember that one. That was funny.
No.
Slip and slide.
Oh, right on.
I thought he was going to touch the woman.
I thought he was going to
grab
take
onto a woman.
I thought he was going to take her down too.
That was the last opportunity right there. He's like, if he would have grabbed her breast, all you have to say, "You saved my life."
Someone saved my life.
Airbags saved my cranium.
But that first slip that he had, where he caught himself, completely wrecked his back.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually pretty lucky he didn't go down on his face harder. So this is pretty bitchin'.
He didn't hit that girl real bad.
A gun hidden within a Bible made for Francesco Morosini, Duke of Venice. The owner of the Bible could pull the silk bookmark to shoot while the book was still closed. Now on display at the Museo Venice, museum in Venice.
Wow.
Pretty neat.
That's awesome.
That fucking cannon.
Wow.
Little hand cannon.
Well, book cannon.
And this is why gun control never work.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is this is titled Mustang Doing Mustang Things. Burning out tree. Telephone pole.
Oh.
I don't even feel bad for you, bro. That sucks.
Oh, man.
This is making a lot of sense right now. Always give 100% at work. Monday, 11%. Tuesday, 24%. Wednesday, 40%. Thursday, 23%. Friday, 2%. That's why you don't ever want anything made on a Friday. Parts missing. Shit's upside down.
Your wallet's missing and your dog's knocked up.
Seen it 100 times. Now, if you want to enter somebody in the asshole of the week category, this would be him.
Sean.
So they have a bat dog where the dog runs out and grabs the bat.
Sean Murphy.
They booed the shit out of that guy. They were so pissed off at that guy, they booed him like a son of a bitch. Jerk.
What a dick.
Yeah, right? I saw somebody say that Joel Osteen looks like Martin Short pretending to be Tim Allen, and I can't unsee it now. It's the most accurate statement ever uttered.
That is. Oh my God.
He 100% does look like, I mean, that is dead accurate.
Mark Short and Tim Allen, you mix them together, you get Joel Osteen.
We should get roll call one of these for Christmas. Stone Cold Steve Austin. What's roll call's? What's roll call's wife's name? Glitter.
Oh,
Glitter Sticks or something?
yeah. STYX.
Yeah, Glitter Sticks 209. 219.
Is it? Oh, okay.
It should be Glitter Sticks 219.
No, that one's not coming up.
STYX?
Nope.
I don't know. Just click on roll call's thing and see who follows them.
Yeah.
You get both followers.
He's got more followers than I do. Glitter Sticks. Oh, Glitter Sticks 219. There it is.
Okay, there you go.
Some competition.
Stocking stuffer.
You'd be like, what the hell is this?
Looks like you just found what to buy roll call for Christmas.
Kind of looks like him too.
Woof.
And we sit back and wait. Okay, this was we got another Bidenism. I don't know what the hell he thinks he's saying in this one, but he's talking about tornadoes.
Looks like
The ratios.
They don't call them that anymore. That hit the crops and wetlands in the middle of the country in Iowa and Nevada, and I mean it's just across the board. And as I said, we're in this.
No, that was accurate.
Like a tornado, they don't call them that.
He said the tornadoes, but they don't call them that anymore. What else would you call a tornado other than a tornado?
He probably just finished watching Twister. So.
Twister, a whirlwind.
No.
Half my shit's gone.
Sharknado.
He was thinking of the word derecho, which is straight line.
Yeah. So this shit happened in like 3:00 in the afternoon downtown in Los Angeles on Melrose Avenue near Beverly Hills. It's like 3 PM. Dudes fucking walk up and just rob people. Fuck that.
He's just shopping.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That should just be made into a PSA for this is how gun control works.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
And at the dinner table.
Oh,
sorry, I'm actually allergic.
These things are pretty funny too. We should see if we can come up with any of them.
Things you can say in the bedroom and at the dinner table.
Sorry, I'm actually allergic to nuts.
I wasn't actually expecting it to get that spicy, so someone's going to have a sore butt tomorrow.
She won't.
Oh, that's not how my mum does it.
I like that one.
The first one she said, the first one she said, my response would have been, "Well, there goes your social life."
Yeah, you're gonna eat it or what? Come on, don't spit it out. Why is your brother staring at me? Uncle does it better. I wish Grandma was here. Man, I'm stuffed. My dad's tastes better. It's pretty funny.
Put your teeth back in.
Yeah. that would be a good one. Okay, Grandma.
It's like, how do you like your nuts? Fondled.
Okay, Grandma, you can put your teeth back in. All right. This says, I left my son alone for 2 minutes.
Excuse me. What are you doing?
What?
This is mine now, mortal. Be gone.
I claimed it.
He who shits on it owns it.
Mm-hmm. It says, some kid tied a dildo to my inflatable ghost, and now the neighbor is calling the cops.
That's fucking hilarious.
How would you respond to the neighbor on that? I'd be like, "Oh, he's real horny."
Well, paint me green and call me a pickle, because I'm done dealing with you bitches. That's a great t-shirt.
Yeah.
What the fuck did that comment say? Why do Americans call gherkins dill pickles? It's a gherkin. They're different. They shouldn't be doing that. That's illegal in the pickle world.
Because gherkin sounds too much like jerkin.
That's
Jerkin the gherkin.
This motherfucker picked up a rock one day, and now we gotta pay taxes. Shake my head. It says, what do you mean we? So I think Foss sent me this, and I thought, holy shit, could there possibly be a more dangerous way to do this than this? They came down, they took the landing gear off, and they're attaching a different one. But couldn't they don't they have like some kind of winch or something
Like
to
a
do
lift or
this?
something? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Foss. He tagged me in it. I commented, Jim, hey Bob, we got to switch out the doohickeys under this chopificator. What's the least safe way possible? Bob, hold my beer. Like, how could this possibly go wrong, right? Damn. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that thing.
Nope.
Yeah, the heck with that.
Thousands of people lined the interstate for miles to honor fallen Marine Jared Schmitz ahead of his procession through the St. Louis area. He was one of the Marines from Afghanistan.
Yeah, the medic from Ohio had a big memorial the other day, too.
Yeah, that's cool. I put green peppers, but don't actually want them. I want banana peppers instead, but they aren't listed, and I don't want the uncomfortable scenario of adding a topping in my comment, but not paying for it. And then you're all, this asshole is going off the menu and expects free banana peppers. I'm not that guy. Anyway, to sum it up, no green peppers is listed in the toppings for this pizza. Substitute banana peppers. Also, I prefer to call them pepperoncinis, but I fear the obvious pepperoncini pepperoni mix-up. Keep it real, you glorious bastards.
Nice.
Okay, then.
All lobster prices have increased due to higher lobster prices. Makes sense?
So are the prices of the lobsters high, or are the lobsters themselves high?
Weed smoking lobsters.
Freaking sea cockroaches. Stealing my weed and knocking up my daughter.
Seen it 100 times. Trolling. Trolling.
Right.
Spelled spicy wrong.
Specy? Speaky? Sparky? Whatty? Yeah.
Cuckoo.
Easy there, Roscoe.
P. Coltrane.
What'd you say, Enos?
Kiki.
Is this a spicy meatballa? Guess not. Nobody fell off a lobster boat and died. Lobsters are bugs and so are shrimp. Yeah, then bugs are delicious.
Is that why you're trying to hide all those roaches from Mia?
Chocolate covered grasshoppers.
That's why I only watch Deadliest Snatch.
Different bugs.
It's a nice bike. You want to get out the bike for me, huh? Oh, shit. No, yeah. Get out the bike. Come on. I'm good. All right. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
And copyright strike.
Yeah, well.
What's that? It's a nice bike. You want to get out the bike for me, huh?
You brought a knife to a gunfight. So it says, Cassie whooped that ass. The teacher allegedly hit, spanked, shoved, and slapped her child with a book for over 3 hours. A Crawfordville, Georgia mother was arrested Wednesday for assaulting a 61-year-old teacher at St. Teresa in Avila Catholic Church school program after she claimed the teacher physically abused and mishandled her son. She was charged, placed on administrative leave pending the investigation. Brooks, the teacher, and the school's director were walking into an empty classroom to discuss the way the teacher had handled the child when Brooks allegedly used a closed fist and hit the teacher in the back of the head. She kept hitting the victim in the head. The school director tried to stop Brooks from continuing her assault, but was unsuccessful, according to the report.
Barbecue's got a bail.
She pounded shit out of that lady.
Why do I hear the Mortal Kombat music all of a sudden?
This is the most dangerous knife in the world. Just press this button. It sends CO2 out the top.
Okay. I'm not sure if this thing's legal or not, but it's fucking pretty badass.
Let's go blow some stuff up. Just stab whatever.
It's been out for a while. I don't know if it's
I think they're like shark knives, aren't they?
They're what?
Aren't they like shark knives or something like that?
Oh, that's true. That could be. That's that. I didn't think of that.
I want one.
We know you do, George.
Yo, man, they look funny.
Yeah, don't fuck with grandma.
Yep.
Peppers, please.
Peppers. Got you.
High-tech Rickroll.
Mm-hmm.
Honda's out there. He says that's a shark knife for sharks. The State Department on Tuesday expressed concerns over the makeup of the new interim Afghan government announced by the Taliban, including the lack of female leaders and the past actions of some of those appointed to top posts. Duh.
Yo, women, go ahead and...
And in other news, do not pour sulfuric acid directly onto your genitals.
Yeah. Yeah, sticking your finger in lava may cause burns.
Or you add 11.
If you have an erection more than 4 hours, call more women.
Go into the bathroom after you had eaten spicy food and
No, it never goes that easy. You get that first, and then it blocks right back up again.
That curls around, gets you in the belly button.
Fuss says, "Why would you give a shark a knife?" I know, right? And especially such a dangerous one.
Well, you got to make it sporting somehow.
Oh, yeah.
so weird.
Okay, great. Oh yeah.
This is actually how Christmas goes at Jorge's house when they eat tacos too. It's the same thing.
What? They do not. The damn shell would be hard to shoot out, you know.
Fuego.
Well, that's why he uses those mini tacos.
Alligators can live up to 100 years,
Exactly
which
right.
is why there is an increased chance that they will see you later. That's why.
Oh, that's funny.
This shit creeps me out. It says how to fix a
Reborn.
You in this video how you can fix that. First, find the zip tie that's holding her head on, and you'll want to cut it. Then you can just remove the head.
What's funny is when it says reborn, the first thing your brain goes to is newborn. So, like, the first time when I first saw it, I didn't even catch that it said reborn, and I was like, "What the fuck? It's a doll."
I think it's some type of zombie baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that, you know, with the, you know, at first, like how she's saying, "Oh, the head's bobbing around, flopping around." I wouldn't feel comfortable with a kid doing that with a little kid. So
Okay,
hell no,
dude.
support the head, support the neck.
When it's 12 more miles at a rest area.
And then it's closed.
Butt cheeks hold together.
Yeah. I never really thought of this, but if Gotham would have a lot less supervillains if they had more safety rails and shit around giant chemical vats. That city doesn't need Batman; it needs OSHA.
This is still from '89, Batman.
It must be.
I thought there was guardrails. You went over it.
Well, and Harley Quinn too.
Yeah, and Suicide Squad. They didn't have any. She just jumped.
As soon as he puts his sleeve back down, we realized he had made a terrible mistake.
He fucked up.
Bum, bum, ba-da.
Oh, this is pretty wild. Check this out. We don't need that. How do I can't? This doesn't even look like it should be possible.
Dang,
crazy.
This guy's crazier than the guy in the movie Rad.
I think it's pretty nuts.
Dang, it's crazy. Imagine trying to practice this. Like, yeah, I think this would be a good idea. You know,
how do people even survive practicing the damn thing, let alone pulling it off?
This is what happens when you have socialized medicine.
Yeah.
Especially on my bike. I don't even think the air is air.
Sorry to hear about your mom's skydiving incident.
Nice man bun, though.
yeah, that's a ponytail.
Is that her gallbladder scar over there?
It must be.
No, it's a C-section scarf when she had you.
There you go. I don't remember what this is.
This is how I'm scared she's gonna die.
Just a drunk chick doing drunk chick things.
Ankle has left the chat.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this is wild. He's like, oh, wow. Shit happens.
It's Artisan Tony's fault.
He's like, huh, see ya.
I'm glad it's not my car.
It's just a building. No big deal.
Just a wall.
You had to steal a different car.
Not sure. Oh, this is funny.
Put your hands on the back of your head. What? Put your hands on the back of your head now. Right now. Put your hands on the back of your head now. Right now. Fora. Hey, Rocco, here. Hit. Rocco, here.
The dog just takes off. He's like, I'm going to get a steak.
Like, fuck you. Always yelling at me.
Hey, Rocco. No, Rocco. Did I tell you, Rocco? Here.
Yeah. I don't know if the dog ended up biting anybody, but it sure wasn't the guy they were looking for.
He just got in the back of the car. You know?
Yeah. Uh-oh. Made my boss mad by using the vacation days my boss gave me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, dad joke incoming. I went to the beekeeper to get 12 bees. He counted and gave me 13. Sir, you gave me an extra. That's a freebie.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. I've seen this one.
Yeah. Man said, wee.
It's going to be barbecue's first bull ride.
Yeah. Moo, did your daughter go to Europe on vacation?
Most likely. Looks like her car.
No, she's not done yet.
Oh, God. Those Europeans.
You unemployed fools better not be celebrating Labor Day this weekend.
Fools.
If you get a link called free porn, don't open it. It's a virus which deactivates your spell check and fucks up your writing. I also received it, but luckily I don't watch porn, so I ain't open it. Please warn you friends. Wanks.
Wank. 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 Wank.
I told you not to share that.
Yeah, I like
Damn, that was a good one.
That's like the ones where they say like, yeah, there was a guy over there that said if I touched his wiener, he'd give me a donut. Yeah, right over there, and he like, I wouldn't do that, and he like just like takes a bite of the donut. Yeah.
Yep.
Sandshill did something about like that. He was talking about some guy that came over and said, "Hey, can I take a picture of your feet,
Oh,
and
yeah.
if you do, I'll give you a piece of jerky." And I guess I feel uncomfortable doing that, and then you just see him that he's eating a piece of
Yeah.
jerky.
Yeah.
Get off!
Chick fight.
Hey, Abby, you cannot do this! Abby, I'm about to kick you in the...
I'm gonna have to kick you in the head. Huh.
I'm here to tell you that I will never break up a fight that I see in the street. I'll say, let it go, man.
I ended up.
Come on, titties.
I've only ever had stitches a couple times, and one of them was in the lip because I broke up somebody else's fight, and I got punched in the fucking mouth, and my face got split open.
See?
My husband eats an apple with a spoon. Look at that. The comment below it says, "Shouldn't that read ex-husband?"
Well, if she would peel his apple for him like a woman. Nope.
No, that's a banana.
Mm-hmm.
First clinical trial of male birth control gel is underway. Her. Get in bed and get in these guts. Him. Hold on, baby. I got to put my sunblock on first.
Woof.
Spelled S-O-N. I like that. A little Google Earth action here.
Blink, blunk, blink.
Street view.
Is that George Grayson cat?
Yeah, it looked like George Grayson cat.
Yeah, they went to Gary's house.
You could see that cat from the satellite. It doesn't have to zoom in.
There he is. It's George Grayson cat. Says absolutely got his ass.
This doesn't look good.
That was a good one. I would have. I'll tell you, I've done a lot of crazy shit on golf carts, but I wouldn't have thought about this when he ditches it and slams it. He just gets fucking plowed with water. Pretty good.
And he gets back on.
Oh shit! Get hit before the wall.
Got to get that. Boom, boom, boom.
In Soviet Russia, that's one hell of a pump.
Yeah,
it is.
Wait, or is that?
Wait
for it.
Oh, I guess it was supposed to prevent a fire.
This girl is on fire.
Yeah, I feel like the gas that comes out is probably from like an Ansel system, some sort of fire suppression system, and then it lights up anyway. So
Well, I'm trying to think: is this actual like gasoline gas, or is that natural or a natural gas powered vehicle?
Who knows?
I was going back to how could that fat fuck get in that car?
Oh, dude, believe me. One time I was working this this reception. One time I was working this reception, and there was some kind of fight or something, and next to us and stuff. So they call the cops. Well, you see these police cars come out, right? You see this one cop car come in, and you see the door open, and then you see this huge. I mean, a guy probably like 5 times bigger as me. He just gets out of the car and just comes out. Okay, what's going on, guys? And I'm just looking at him like, how the heck did you just get out of that car?
Was it one where they get out of the car and you can hear the suspension move 5 inches?
Dude, I was hearing clown music at the time, man. When he got out of the I was like, how the hell did he get out of the car? I was like, how the heck did you make it through the academy, man? we don't run and chase people. I just roll.
rolling, roll fast.
Roll high.
That's it for the Instagrams.
Oh.
That's it. I don't know if we got any
tags.
Did we get anything back? Oh, AP put me in something here. Hold on a second.
Hey, look, there's a roll call. Oh, that's 8. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I saw this one.
Roll
Yeah,
call.
this guy's funny. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, didn't quite clear. Backy out of it.
I meant to do that.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
Shake it off. Shake it off.
Foss posted this. He said, when you work graveyard, you get what's left over from the day cruise party. It's better than nothing. I commented, in a restaurant, the only thing that would have been left was the handle of the knife.
Yeah, who doesn't scoop up that frosting around the edge? Jesus. Fucking
Yeah, what the hell? There's cookies left. I don't know what the hell he's bitching about. And chopsticks. I mean, they left them with chopsticks.
Get that extra fiber.
Yeah, for real. Bitching.
Yeah, they used to do that a lot in this rehab hospital that I work at sometimes. The doctors would bring sandwiches for the both shifts, day shift and night shift. But the day shift would eat up all theirs, and then when they see the night shift, they're like, "Hey, well, here, I'll just take a sandwich home and stuff." So by the time the night shift gets there, there's practically nothing. So we had to tell them, you know what, whatever you have for the night shift, lock it in an office, and whoever's working security, just tell them to open the door, and you can take the stuff out, for the night shift. That way they don't get cheated.
Moo knows this one probably from working in hospitals and doctors' offices and stuff. A lot of times that stuff comes from drug reps, that food.
Yeah.
Drug reps will bring in, they'll get sandwiches and, stuff like that and bring it in when they're trying to butter up the doctors and stuff to carry drugs that, they're selling. They're under their control or whatever. That happens all the time. I don't know if I feel like I heard that they were trying to pass a bill or did pass some sort of law that they weren't supposed to, that they were supposed to stop doing that kind of thing. I don't remember.
Now they just use reps with big titties.
No, there's two. There's one called the Sunshine Act and the other one called the Stark Law.
As an Anthony?
Tony? Yeah.
Tony Stark? It's Tony Stink. Is this Tony Stink?
So that's it for Instagram. You guys out there in the chat, if you have anything you want to add. If not, we're gonna probably call it a night because I do have to get up early. I've got a couple of meetings in the morning. I got to make breakfast for the little guy because he's not feeling well, so I got to make sure I get up and get him breakfast and stuff, and then I got to head down to the restaurant. We got I got a meeting with a linen company that we're going to be getting our aprons and kitchen towels and stuff from, and actually our our paper towel dispensers too. They're working with a company so we can get our logo put on our paper towel dispensers, which is pretty cool. Something nice, something different. And then I have a meeting with actually somebody that I've told Moo to call, a food purveyor, one of our companies. And I got to go over a bunch of pricing and start to figure out make sure. I mean, I'm pretty much finalized what I'm getting from where after working on it forever, where we're getting everything from and who we're ordering stuff from. And there's a lot of effort. This past week, I was in there quite a few days putting together shelving, cleaning, organizing. We got most of the equipment in. The dishwasher is in. It's not working yet. It needs to be. It's in and plumbed, but it's not like 100% put together, and it's not ready to use yet. But
my dishwasher's out of town this weekend.
Yeah, yeah, that's all right. You can. You're. That's okay. When they'll still. You tell her they'll still be there. Tell her not to worry. They'll be there when she gets home.
That's right.
Not to worry about it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Just gotta plug it in.
Yeah. So we got my prep table put together. We got the kitchen sort of half-assed, but there's just dust. There is drywall dust and just everything has a film on it. We're gonna probably be cleaning. And if you've ever cleaned anything,
nope,
that has like that fine drywall dust on it, or just oh my god. So like before they put the dishwasher and stuff in, I wiped that stainless steel wall down really good because, then the machine was going in. It was going to be harder to clean behind it and stuff. But everything, there's so much stuff that I don't want to unpack because we're just going to have to wash it anyway. And, get out of boxes and stuff like that. It's just, we're going to have a couple of days of just wiping and cleaning, let alone putting stuff away and organizing and do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's so much little stuff to do. Yeah, it's crazy. Every time we do something, we think about 3 more things that we still got to do. I will say
you gotta be about ready to fucking just throw your shit on and start cooking.
Yeah, the last couple weeks have gotten me really amped up to get in there and just finish stuff. Like when we started getting equipment in there, and then I started putting tables together, and I put the hostess stand together, and I put some of the bus carts together and all that kind of stuff. Then I really just like,
it's time to make it happen, man.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, it's fucking time to go, But we I don't know if I said this last week or not, but they turned the freezer and the refrigerator walk-in cooler on, and the walk-in freezer has something wrong with it.
Yeah,
and it basically turned the freezer into a winter wonderland. So that's crazy. My son was really excited about that. I showed him. He's like, "What? It's snowing in there." Yeah. So there's a ton of stuff to do yet. But I will say, roll call seeing the stuff I tagged him in. He's liking it. we've we've gotten quite a few applications. So that's promising. We're going to start doing interviews and stuff like that this coming week, and hopefully get some employees on the hook. We were a little worried with everything going on that we were going to hardly get any, and we got quite a few, and some of them are pretty decent looking, so that's good. That makes me feel a little bit better. We've been sweating it a little bit, Yeah,
that's cool. That's still pretty short-handed around here. Matter of fact, a friend of mine owns a bowling alley bar restaurant, and they had 3 servers quit yesterday.
Wow.
Oh,
I mean, just like, okay, we don't know if we're going to be open.
Yeah, and that's where we are going into it knowing that we're going to have to be very flexible and just go with the flow. Even as far as where I'm ordering my stuff from, like it's crazy because we were on the restaurant store there for a while. If you look at their plastic cups, their to-go plastic cups, like 75% of their brand, their house brand, which are the reasonably priced ones, are out of stock. And a lot of companies are finding that they'll be able to get a hold of most stuff, but every week one thing will be out or 2 things will be out, and it's like different every week. It's just so we know what's going on, and we're going into it knowing that if we don't have the right staff, that we're going to have to improvise a little bit. And if improvising means we limit the menu a little bit, we cut the menu back a little bit, so be it, until we get our feet under us a little bit better and we get some people hired. I don't want to go into it and struggle and have the service be bad and the food not right and make a bad impression. I would rather serve less people or serve a smaller menu and have it be right and build our business from there, and just say, hey, shit's crazy. I would rather, just figure it out as we go. And if we have to change purveyors and do that kind of stuff, we do it. And people are pretty understanding now. When the COVID hit last year and it was all fresh in people's minds and people would come in bitching about stuff because we weren't open or we didn't have something, and either just people are assholes sometimes. People are so used to it now that it's not as big a deal. And they come in and are like, you know what, we're having a hard time getting this, and this, so we took it off the menu. Now people just go, oh, that sucks. Whereas a year and a half ago or whatever it was, we were having people complain and being like, oh, that's my favorite thing, and that's ridiculous that you don't have it. And it's like, lady, we couldn't order it. Like, it didn't come in. Like, we ordered it and it didn't come in. What do you want us to do? People.
It's like I've gone to a couple burger places, and you know how they'll have like the grilled chicken patty, burger.
Yeah.
They got a crispy, they got a grill, and we would go, and my brother would say, oh yeah, give me a grill. I said, okay. And I look, and I'll be like, they don't have it.
Yeah.
It's gone. They took it off the menu.
Well, and it's like wings. We've been talking about wings and stuff. And
we got a wing stop here that they do thighs.
Yeah,
well,
that's why.
Stop now.
And that's why thighs went through the roof. When we were talking about that, I really fucking called that before it happened. I was like, man, what's going on with thighs? Something's going on with thighs. Thighs are more expensive than breast meat. Why is that? And then literally like 2 days later, a commercial comes out for Thigh Stop, and I'm like, oh, there you go. That's what happened. Yeah. But there's a lot of places that are just saying we're out of stuff. And I'll be honest, I think most of the time with food, it's not that they're out of it. It's that it's become exorbitantly priced and they can't sell it. And I understand. And I'll be 100% honest. I think they should be honest. If they pull something off the menu and it's like, well, we're having a hard time getting it. We can't get it at a good price, and we can't afford to sell something and only make $1 off of it. I respect that.
It'd be like,
it's a business.
They're going to sell it to you for like a combo will be $29.99 or something. Like, wow,
right?
Why is that so expensive? Well, it's because the price to get it. It won't make any money out of it.
people don't want to pay those kind of prices. Number one, and number two, like I said, you know, if it's a business and you got to keep your business, you got to keep the doors open, you got to keep people fed or people paid, and you got to keep the lights on. And if I'm running an $8 chicken sandwich and it costs me $7.25, I can't do it. I got to take it off the menu and let you order something else that we can make money off of, or we're not gonna make it. So, you know, people are a little more understanding now than they were back then. So that's good, and we're just rolling into it. And you know, the owners and I we've all had the conversation where like we're gonna do our best, and if something weird happens, we're gonna make the best of it, and we're gonna adapt and change, and we're gonna try and stay ahead of the curve, and just if we have to, you know, pull an audible, then we do what we do. You know, if we have to.
Like one of the restaurants I went to get a burger. Me and my dad went to go we went to Freddy's, it was a hamburger place, and when we were at the drive-thru, it had a sign saying, you know, we apologize for the time to get your order because we're short-staffed. You know,
right.
And at least that lets know people like, hey, how come you taking so long? You know, this and that. So, hey, right there it tells you, man, because everyone's hiring. All these restaurants are hiring. And I don't see, you know, some people don't want to go back to work or something. I don't know. I mean, I you know, swear that there's people that want to go back, that want to work, you know, and there's other people that are like, I don't want to go back to work.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's the restaurant industry is an industry that it's for a special type of person. It's just like anything else. I mean, being a doctor, being a lawyer, being a, you know, whatever there's industries that are, you just have to be a certain type of person to enjoy it and to do it. And restaurants are one of those kind of jobs. So we're crossing our fingers that the people that have applied, you know, that enough of them stick, that we can get open and have a good crew. And then from there, I know we can do a good job. You know, the owners have allowed me and themselves to build a restaurant that is as good of a restaurant as we can in the space that we have. He's never told me no when I've said that I want to do something or I think we should do something. He's always said, okay, well, if that's what we need to do, then we do it. So, you know, and as far as the ordering and all that kind of stuff, like, we know what to do. We just need the staff to help us do it. So, you know, I'm excited and I'm already proud of the place, and it's really cool. I try and stay, you know, I don't tell people where I work and stuff like that. And, you know, for good reason. I try and stay anonymous, but it's a cool joint, and I'm really excited to be part of it. And I think we're going to do well. And it's been really fun. It's been very educational for me too. I mean, in the future, you know, having done this now, I mean, this is great education for me if I ever have the opportunity to open up a place, you know. So it's pretty neat. All you need is a whole bunch of money.
Lotto. Play the lotto.
Yeah, right.
Find a rich uncle.
If you find the right bank on, say, like a Friday before a holiday when they got a lot of cash on hand.
Just go make a quick withdrawal.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Nerf Shooter could reach the gas pedals for you.
He could. He probably could. He does like the he does like the 4-wheeler. Maybe we just have to make a getaway on a 4-wheeler.
He's selling some Callahan brake pads.
Yeah, right.
We're burning.
DJ Play Nice put the winning numbers out there. So let's call it a night.
Combination of my luggage.
The wife just texted me. She wants a wiener.
What? I can't get there that fast.
There's a hot dog from a cookout, so she wants a hot dog. So
Really, you sure she's just not wanting the meat substitute, the tofu dog, or that purple hot dog?
Nerf shooter needs a Nerf fat shooter. That's what.
Yeah, she definitely is talking about a grilled hot dog. Definitely.
Right.
A grilled sandwich.
Injection molded grilled.
Vienna sausage.
Yeah, at best.
I was in the pool.
You wish. Yeah.
Little Smokies.
Little Smokies.
Look. No, not gonna say what I'm thinking.
So let's call it a night. You guys have anything to plug? You got anything going on?
No, nothing. Nothing for me.
Go back to work tomorrow. Yay.
Yeah, I know. I hear you.
No. Good to go, man. Thanks for the invite. Good to see you guys.
Same here. Thanks for the invite. It's always a pleasure and an honor to speak with you guys.
Absolutely. Always a good time. I appreciate you guys helping out. Always welcome. And I always want you to be here as much as you can. Ape, you want to take us out here, dude? We'll get the hell out of this dump.
Ladies, gentlemen, and Jonases of all ages, thank you for watching Midnight Range TM's The Closer. This concludes our regular program because we didn't have enough fiber with our hot wings today. The Gun Channels Community Monday night programming lineup. You got Yankee doing his almost daily rant. And
Yankee doing his yanking.
Then Yankee doing his continued yanking. Then at 7 p.m. Eastern, or I don't know, Matt might be doing hasty headlines. May not. Work's been going crazy for him. Again. Clovertack's not doing anything. At 9 p.m. Eastern, it's Never Enough Ammo, a.k.a. Mr. Matt's Guns and Geek podcast. It's probably going to be another you people pick the topic, and I do mean you people.
Open comments, open forum, whatever.
Check out guntube.org. It's a free and unrestricted Pro 2A video platform. If you like what you see, go over and throw a couple of dollar bills, but be sure you peel them apart first. He doesn't like it when you just throw a big rubber band wad full of them at his head. Although it is interesting to watch him try and duck. He's pretty nimble for Night Strike. For cool and unique two-way swag, like pretty much any patch you see here, go over to gearwebsites.com. That's gearwebsites.com for cool and unique two-way swag. Remember, a hot dog is a sandwich, Slim Jim is candy, and never eat fudge from a place called Uranus. Oh, wait, sorry, that's Uranus. Never mind.
DJ Play Nice just put a comment out there. We were it was last week or a week and a half ago. We were here, and I've been doing, like I said, I've been doing a lot of work from the house. So I took a break and I went and sat down on the couch, and the wife and kid were out there, and he was on his iPad or something for a little bit, and she had 16 Candles was on. I forgot how funny that movie really is. There's some really funny shit in that movie.
No more
he put out there, no more Yankee, my wanky. The donger needs food. When they find him in the tree, where is my automobile?
In the rake. That's a big rake.
Yeah. When he's like, when he goes to the dude's house, or when the jock dude goes to the house and the donger answers the door.
You punch my face.
Yeah, you punch my face. It's like, you grabbed my nuts. And he was like, what? There's some funny shit in that movie. That's a good movie.
Happening hot stuff.
Yeah.
What's your first name? Long. What's your last name? Dong. What's your middle name? Duck.
Long Duck Dong. Yep. The donger need food. Where's my
canine cologne?
He talks when he crashes the car. He's like, crash, like
big rig,
like. Yeah, it's funny. It's good stuff. I forgot how funny that one was.
Oh,
you guys have a good night. Thanks for watching. Got a bunch of yahoos out there still. Got 9 of yins. 9 of yins. Ewins? No, not Ewins. It's yins. You guys have a good night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Take it easy. See you next time.